Billy, that's you? Billy, that's you?
First, I do care about the turtles, and I do not like straws because of that, sure.
I love a straw. I love a good straw. I love sucking on shit. Not dicks or anything. Nothing
115, 10.
Nothing homosexual.
1 3
That
2019.
makes sense.
Okay. That's
right.
gonna be in the opening video. Oh. Oh my god, bro. There is no one like you. You are.
But I'm gonna fuck around and make my whole fucking album distorted, and they gonna be like that boy edgy as fuck. Yeah, fuck. TCAP 803.
Coming heavy with the weight and feel one near the hoes in Jesus' hand hill. Give a fuck how a man feel. Whole world at a standstill, stigmatized. Donald Trump that will not criticize. Still question Obama like my nigga lied. White girls useless on my nigga ride. Out here switching sides. Costing shit to mind the window cause they living blind. And they saw that, show it. I swear my flow high potent. How these hoes got open and you know Pop's joking. If he expect forgiveness, I'm one of your 7 victim hells free of heaven's prison. These are split decisions. And I think I give the misses what I give the masses. My whole arm, there are no walls. I ain't kissing asses, the shit, and I don't stop. Don't stop. She ain't bars, the end and she won't call her. You didn't see her coming, you didn't scream and running, baby, like babies, why they didn't need nothing drive, horsepower, speed is punching, smoking weed, I'm blunting, no disease is stunning, ain't me like Jesus functions. Eating knowledge, I got key consumption, Super Saiyan, water, B.I.A. peanut buzzing, Twitter family, they ugly. You can keep your puzzling. You want my time is by the hour and I need 100. I see your shit and see it sunken. Missing me, she keep on cutting. She a keeper, love it, hot box, a demon bucket. My demon, she seen a sucker. She bring me, need me, so fucking here for long haul. Press hold, the God calls.
Hello, Creighton.
Hello, Charlie.
It is still Thursday, May 14th. We didn't start after midnight. We started pretty early for ourselves, like 20, 30 minutes earlier than usual, I'd say. Hello, Tristan, says Tristan. Hello, Tristan.
Oh,
Says
so-
Tristan. Yes?
Episode 51 is still not up.
51? Was last episode 51 from last night?
So last night would have been 52.
Then
we're behind.
Then I am confused.
Why are you confused?
Because I don't know why that one wouldn't be up. I definitely uploaded that one. Hold on, let me...
We talked about the legality of drinking/smoking.
I'm not. Hold on. You always go to a certain mind. Hold on. First of all, the weather in Adair County, Kentucky, which is I don't know how close that is, but I have a friend in Kentucky, was 69 degrees Fahrenheit today. The precipitation was 15%, the humidity was 58%, and the wind was 5 miles per hour.
That's some sexy weather you're giving.
That's some
there, Charlie.
weather. That's some weather right there. I'm giving out that hot weather.
You got the hair of a weatherman, so it all checks out.
What?
Yeah.
No,
Weathermen
weathermen
always
have
have,
that
like, really
shitty like
suave
old
hair.
business. Nah, they don't got like.
Yeah.
Nah.
The new weathermen do. Have you not seen new weathermen on?
I'm updating the titles, Charlie. Come on, keep up.
So it's on.
I know, dude.
So
Last
we're
night's
on
won't be able to go up because of the like storage space.
Yeah.
issue.
But
I'm
we
just gonna
should be-
start deleting at the end of every week,
Yeah.
like the four,
Yeah.
or however many we did that week.
So this one's gonna be episode 52, and last night's just won't go up.
Yeah. Or hold on, let's see.
It's gonna be the new
Today-
52.
So that was yesterday, and the other one was from that day. Okay. Well, I see the one that should be going up.
51.
Yeah, for 51. Because that one ended. Yeah. So I guess it'll just be. It'll have to be this one. Okay. Well, I'll mess with that later.
Okay. So
I
that's
just
the
want
only
to put
thing.
that one up.
I don't think we haven't really put out anything for this week.
Out of the podcast we've recorded, you mean this
Yeah,
week?
because the one that we recorded.
We didn't get one on Tuesday. Last night's got messed up because of the storage thing, and then the first one happened.
Yeah. Well, like so.
And the first one, I guess I just.
If I'm
forgot
reading
to
my
put it up.
notes
I could've
correctly,
sworn I
we
put
did put up 50, which was recorded on Sunday.
it up. Okay, so
So the only one we haven't put up is the one from Monday and the one from Wednesday, which won't go up,
yeah,
and then today's, and then we'll just if things work out, we'll do one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then that way, but we've been doing it for Twitch, so except for Tuesday, we've
Well,
been
this-
here every day for you guys. So you know.
are you ready to talk about Papa Hal's Father's Day yet? 'Cause that has been in our notes.
So yeah,
For, like,
I'll talk about it if you want to.
days.
It's kind of like a sad subject to start on if you want to like get into it.
God damn it! Why would you put it in here if it was gonna be sad?
Well, like I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, this would be a really cool story to tell, like whenever the moment comes up.
what moment?
I don't know. Like you never know when these kind of moments will come around. Like, do you really want to talk about it? Because I'll tell.
Well, I
it.
mean, like, why would you put? The notes are.
It was on my mind, and I was thinking about it.
I understand, but like the notes
I'll-
are things we
I'll just
bring
tell
up,
the
not
story.
things like to.
I'll tell the story since
Okay,
like you want
tell
to
the
know.
story.
So bad.
We'll just start off real dull
Can you-
and sad.
Slide this over some.
Why?
I just.
No, it's in the right spot. The audio's perfect. We're not messing with it. It's fine.
Okay. So there I was.
One day you're gonna be telling a story about Cleopatra, and you're gonna say, "There I was, reading about Cleopatra."
And this is what I learned.
And this is what I learned. There you were.
There I was. It was the day after Father's Day last year,
Okay.
and I was taking my grandfather cupcakes. You know, the strawberry cupcakes that we make at Food Line that have the white icing on top and
I
everything.
don't, but okay.
They're really delicious. Anyways.
God damn it! Now I want cupcakes.
Yeah, they're really good. I'll
we
bring
eat
you some
them?
tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Anyways, so I was on the way to take him to him. I was by myself, by the way, because the person I was with at the time had this orientation thing going on in Winthrop, and I had to work on Father's Day, which is why I didn't actually get to see him on Father's Day.
Yeah.
And we were driving there, or I was driving there. I mean, I keep saying we. And I was like watching like creepypasta, or not watching, but listening to like creepy Reddits or whatever on YouTube.
Ugh.
So, anyways, I was on the way doing that because at the time I was really into that shit. And I got there, and my uncle was like walking around outside, and it wasn't really too weird because he smokes a lot and just like wanders around the yard whenever he's there. So I come outside, and he's like, Papa, like, you know, he says, Papa Hal like collapsed, like, you know, into like his chair, and they got like an ambulance on the way. And I was like, oh, like, you know, is everything all right? Like, so he had a lot of like heart problems and stuff anyway. So like it wasn't like crazy for him to be going to the hospital. But I went in there, and like my grandma was like standing over him, and was like my grandma Lula, by the way, not my grandma that we normally talk about.
Yeah.
And standing over him and like trying to get him to respond and stuff, and like, you know, like holding his hand, and like so it was like the first time like I had ever seen somebody like on their way out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true.
And it's
a horrible.
It's not even
tough
like
feeling. It's tough when you can tell. It's tough when you like are there and you know it's gonna like you know
well,
it's like
thing.
it's about to, it's gonna happen.
You think it's gonna be tough, but it's not. Like it was very peaceful. You know what I mean? Like even though it was not, it was.
Oh, Walleye. I know Walleye. He's cool.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for following.
But it was peaceful, but it was like a chaos. It was like, you know, when you're like, it was like what you would imagine being in the eye of a hurricane would be like. Like all this stuff's going on around you, but you're kind of in the center where like nothing is like going on. Like you're in this bubble.
Yeah.
And it was like, like he wasn't responding, but like he was still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
But he also wasn't. Like he was like halfway out the door, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember, so I remember like stepping back out of their room and like just seeing the kitchen, like watching her, like, you know, over him, like trying to get him to respond and stuff, and like just kind of sitting there, like watching it all happen, thinking like, what am I gonna do? What's gonna happen? Like, you know. And then the EMTs got there, and I had to like help. I had to like get my grandma like away from him so that they could do her job because she wasn't gonna leave him. And I got her like kind of calmed down and like sat her down in the kitchen and stuff, and they got him. They, you know, did what they were supposed to do and like got him up in the stretcher and got him into the ambulance. But the ambulance like never left like the driveway and stuff. And I like sat with her for a while and like just kind of got her calm and everything, and she was like she was very distraught. Like she was like, this is it, he's gone this time, you know, and like she was very upset.
Yeah.
And like crying and stuff. And my uncle came in there, was talking to her, and I went outside to go call my dad. And my dad was already on the way. I guess my uncle had called him at some point, but he was already on the way there. And then I might not even call my dad first. I think I called my mom because like I was like just so upset about it. Well, not even upset, but it's like one of those things that doesn't hit you until like you're outside. And I talked to my
Yeah, you get this feeling of like everything in front of me is what's important.
yeah.
It's not like
Well,
you don't want to get on your phone and start messing with
It
it.
reminded me of that Rick and Morty episode, you know, where like they get their toxic stuff out of them. Like at the beginning of the episode, they go on this crazy adventure, and they get in the car like after being heroes and stuff, and they just break down.
They
like
go
after,
nuts. Yeah.
yeah, like it was kind of like that. So I got on the phone with my mom, and I just started like breaking down and crying and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know like what's going on. I think he's like, you know, like this is it. And she was like, you know, it's okay. This kind of thing happens, and I'm sorry you had to experience this way. But at the same time, like, about that time, my dad drove up, and, like, you know, he got to talk to the EMTs and figuring stuff out. My dad, I think, knew, but, like, didn't want to, he was, like, trying to stay strong for us. Like, he didn't say, like, much about it. He just followed them to the hospital, and I stayed with Brooke, and, like, you know, we just kind of spent the day together and went to Chick-fil-A or something while at the house, and then we're coming back to the to my grandma Lula's house. And it's one of those things, like I didn't cry at his funeral, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't, it was like seeing it all happen in front of me, like, was the closure I needed. In a weird way. Like, it was so fast and all at once. Like, it was almost, like, perfectly timed. Because I got there before the ambulance got there, just going, like, randomly. You know?
Like, it wasn't, it was just one of those, like,
Like, I didn't even know,
moments.
I didn't even know what was going on.
You just show up and that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
You know, you say that and it clicks with me right away. Like, that's the thing you see in movies a lot. Like, if there's a main character that hears that a family member died, they always break down at the funeral. But if they are there for it, at the funeral, they're always the strong one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even like there's like the dumb funeral thing in movies. Like there's like it's almost like a montage at a funeral. You know, the funerals are always like
coming up and talking.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff,
always like the montage of like sad music and slow pans and like the people walking up and like, you know, if the person was there for it, they're always like not like smiling and nice and blah blah blah. But if they weren't there for it, they're like losing their shit. People are comforting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
we should do a mock funeral for all of us. That way, like, you know, if we got the right thing set, like, you know, the stage set and everything, everybody agrees with what's being said. You know,
we all write as if our friends are dying.
Yeah.
It's like Creighton was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, who's
we gotta do it for Quentin first because he'll be like the first.
He's the first one to die. It's not even close.
Yeah, so,
like out of our friend group, it's like Quentin.
Do you think he'd be mad at us if we did a mock funeral for him?
He'd probably love it. Quentin, out of all our friends, Quentin would probably love that the most. Quentin would probably be like, yeah, bitches, I don't want to be dead when you guys start talking good about me. You know what I mean? But he's definitely going to be the kind of person that would like us to say all that shit to him, or at least in front of him. You know, Quentin probably doesn't like when you, like, say nice things right to him. He wants you to say nice things around him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he wants to know that you are saying good shit about him to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to know that you're spreading the gospel that is Quentin.
The Quentin gospel. But, it was like, it's one of those moments that you can't really put into words, but, like, it's a feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember driving out there kind of, like, feeling weird about it. I don't know if it's, like, the creepypasta I was watching or what, but, like, it was, like, this almost surreal experience. Like, you know, at the end of, like, when you're getting close to the end of, like, a really good video game, and, you know, like, these, like, you can tell these are, like, the final steps in, like, the level before something really dramatic happens. Like, it was kind of like that. It like, you could feel, like, the build-up.
Where the
like,
music slows down. There's, like, a long walk where there usually is, like, paths and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, it's the foliage is getting greener, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, something's...
Yeah.
I'm getting lulled into a false sense of security.
Yeah. And it was very much like that.
Oh, Chris resubscribed for
Thank you,
6
Chris.
months. Driving in my car, not safely watching on my 6-month anniversary. Okay, well, I need you to calm down there.
But it was one of those things where, like, I don't think if they had asked me to say anything, but they didn't. But if they had asked me to say anything at my grandpa's funeral, I don't think, like, I would have had anything to say. You know what I mean? Because it's weird. Like, I didn't get to really talk to him before he went, and I regret that to some extent. But I feel like being there and, like, seeing it happen and, like, knowing that I was coming with the intention of, like, you know, celebrating Father's Day with him, like, was enough, you know? And it like, anytime we talked, he would always ask, like, you know, how he's doing with work, how everything was going, you know, if I was, like, you know, he never expressed disappointment towards me, and I always, like, appreciate that, you know? I don't think either one of my grandparents on that side have ever been, like, expressed disappointment in any sort of way, and I've always, like, appreciated that, and have always, like, it's like, Kristen can tell you, she went over there today, like, it's like such a weird, like, chill, like, vibe on that side of my dad's
You've always got
family.
that side of your family that's like the ones that want to critique you, and then the other side
That's just happy that you're alive.
Happy that you're just there to hang out, and
Yeah.
like we'll like listen to you and let you be the one that talks.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not like that side. It's like that chunk. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And
I'm not in communication with much of like my mom's side of the family. Like every once in a while I'll see some of them, but like my dad's side, there's definitely parts of my dad's side that like it's like, oh, they're the ones that are gonna like tell me what they think, and then there's the ones who are gonna let me explain how I see it. You know what I mean?
It made me think about, because my uncle passed away right after I moved to Columbia
Mm-hmm.
on my dad's side. You're the one that you've probably
Yeah.
even met him a bunch of times over at my
Yeah,
dad's house, my uncle Al.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed away, I was in Columbia, and I told my dad I wanted to drive up there to see everybody. He was like, "No, don't worry about it. You're good down there. You need to stay in school and all that kind of stuff." But like, I'm really glad that I was here for this one. You know what I mean? Like, that I was here and around, because like, if I was still in college, I probably wouldn't have been around for when his time came.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where like, I know like we've talked about before, but I'm religious. Like I believe in God and Jesus and all that, and like I feel like it's one of those things like it worked out the way it was supposed to,
Yeah.
and it helped.
I think they always do.
Yeah, in a way, and like me and my uncle were I would say we're probably like closer than me and my grandpa, just because like I didn't know, or my Papa Hal, because I didn't really. I mean, I knew, and like we would talk about him a lot, but like he never really told me much about himself. He always wanted to know about us, and
Yeah. That's how my great grandfather was.
and like hearing people talk about him at the funeral and stuff was really cool, because I got to know more about him after he had passed away and about his side of the family than like in the 20 something years that I had known him being alive, and I don't know if that's just like bad on my end for not asking more questions, or just like it never came up when we would hang out and talk.
I think when we're like, I'm only just now getting to a point where I'm asking older family members about themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I think that when you're a little kid, all you think
don't
about
think
is
about it.
you, and you're excited to tell them what they want to know about you.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, it's
and
like
they're
someone's
excited to know.
interested.
I
Yeah,
think it's like
exactly.
a mutual thing. I don't think
Yeah.
they take it in a bad way.
I don't think they ever.
And
I don't think grandparents, like, unless you're like a horrible grandparent, like it's there's no way that they, because at that point you've lived long enough to understand how people think throughout their life.
yeah,
Because you've lived that long, you know how people are thinking.
Mhm.
No, you thought even like as different as everybody is. I think there's a few things that stick, that stay pretty similar, and one is like how we think as we age. Because like I talk to like 15, 16-year-olds now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's happening there. I see why you're thinking that. You're thinking that because of the way you think.
Yeah.
You're a fucking 15-year-old. It's like, and I feel like with grandparents, like none of my grandparents have ever been like, why don't you ever ask me what the fuck I'm doing today? You know what I mean? They're always like, how's this? How's that? And then I'm like, oh, it's good. What about your day? They're like, oh, whatever, my day. What happened to you? They want to keep on talking about you. And
The only thing I feel bad about is like my grandma Lulu doesn't really have anybody to stay with her anymore.
mhm.
And she's getting where she can't really move around that well, and like my dad said that because my grandma Lula had been in the hospital like right before he passed away, and my dad said like he thinks that Papa Hal skipped out on like some of his medicine for his heart and stuff, like in order to like kind of like make himself go, so that way she wouldn't have to take care of him, because like she had started getting bad at that time, and like there's not going to be anybody like to really take care of both of them,
Yeah.
because my dad works all the time, like I work all the time. I mean, we all are working a lot, and there's just nobody to be there for them like we could be. And he thinks that he just let himself go, so that way she wouldn't have to like worry about him anymore,
Yeah, I mean, it would be the first time something like this happened.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, I think that a lot of people, that's got to be a scary decision, is do I die so I don't have to deal with watching the one I love, like, going out slowly, or do I stay alive so that they don't have to deal with losing me? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and both of those suck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Both of those are like this horrifying, scary, existential, like dreadful moment that you have to figure out. Or I guess you don't have to, but that people probably come to like an understanding in their mind of which one's like which and who's gonna survive. Because it's definitely a person by person thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there are people that know, like, oh, you would definitely handle me dying way better than I'd handle you dying. You know what I mean? In terms of like a relationship, like if there's somebody who knows, because people know each other in that way.
I think he was ready to go, like, because I mean, he did like a lot of stuff throughout his life. He played football, he worked like on roads and stuff, like pretty much like his whole working career, and like it took a toll on his body. Like, you know what I mean? Like by the time like I really like got to know him and stuff, he wasn't able to walk anymore really because he had arthritis and his legs really bad, and he just couldn't really move around like he used to. And I know he hated that because he used to play the guitar, he could draw and stuff, like, and he used to like go out and like help people and just have cookouts and stuff and gather people together, you know, and family reunions and friends and all that. And I don't think he was enjoying life the way he used to, you know, being like just cooped up in a house watching TV, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the things that do that to you, like the working hard and knowing when not to. Because like for the longest time, you know, especially like kind of where we live, like the hard working man is like the guy everyone respects, and like it becomes such a precedent for you to want to be a hard worker. And a lot of people don't care what physical limitations they have and will keep going, you know. And I feel like that's why you see so many of these old dudes that are all broken and like brittle because they didn't know when to like maybe just wait and work later. Because I mean, if there's anything that like is like helpful about modern medicine, is that people are living longer, but not just living longer. They're like living their life longer. Like they're like up and doing shit. Like they're, you know, because my grandma, she's 90 in June. She turns 90 in June, and up until the last 2 years, she was up and, you know, like mowing her 3-4 acre lawn herself. She has like 3 gardens. Like between all of her gardens, there's like a whole acre of garden.
Is she starting to slow down some now? Or?
Yeah, well, her husband died. My great grandfather died, and when he died, that's when stuff started to get a little slower for her. I didn't find out he died until I was in Anaheim when he died, and like my dad called me and told me, and like I remember hanging up and being like, why the fuck would you call me and tell me while I'm here? I was like, you can't just let me not know that until I'm home. I wouldn't. I think I would have been okay with that. That was one of those moments.
He just wanted you to know.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I get the reason. I just, it's one of those things where you're just sitting there like, man, if I could go back and say to my dad, like, hey, just wait, you know, with the hindsight, it's one of those moments where, like, it definitely got me down that day, where I was, like, having this great time, and it really, like, put me, but I mean, you know, actually, I say that, and I remember putting it away pretty quickly, like, just getting rid of that thought, like just having that like be a thing I'll deal with later, you know. And then I didn't really deal with it at all. It was he was awesome, but a lot like yours, he was very very quiet. You know, like I knew him my whole life, and in my whole life, I bet, not even kidding, we had less than like 1,000 words between the two of us.
But sometimes that's all you need, you know what
I mean, yeah, he was very, I mean, I went hunting with him like 10, 15 times. 10, 15 times hunting, we never spoke. He was like...
We still never talk sometimes.
Yeah, we still never talk sometimes. He was very much, like, you know, just like he'd be the guy who's like this, like come on, like it's time to go. Like he'd move, like he spoke with his limbs. You know, he was like the guy that spoke with like gestures, and was good at it. Like there was this shorthand of like, here's what we're gonna do now. Okay, come this way, and that like the only thing he'd ever say is Chris. Go, Chris. I was like, he'd be like. I was like, oh shit, okay, we're climbing a tree, and he's like, and then we climbed a tree, or some shit like, you know what I mean, he never would speak, he would just like show us things.
He spoke to me with his hands.
He had a wood shop like as big as this house.
Yeah. And
like I'd walk in there and he'd be building like fucking cabinets, and I'd be like, how's this work? And he'd be like, like you just do whatever it is that works. And like
I thought you were about to be like, he's just building wooden cars, like whole ass full cars.
He built I don't think I have any of it in here. Caroline's got one. My brother's got. He built like all the furniture in our old house.
Really?
He built all of it. Like he built like super high quality, like thousands of dollars, expensive furniture, and just I think just give it away. I know he sold some stuff to some people, but like I don't know if he gave it to our family or if like my dad bought them. This was a long time ago. I want to. Like the he's my grandpa in me wants me to say he gave it to us, but I don't know.
The salesman in you wants to say he sold it to you.
No, I'm not a salesman. My dad's a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I hate.
Do you think he was a salesman?
I don't know, man. He never spoke. Like he was so quiet. Like even like at his funeral, it was like everything was quiet, and there were a lot of jokes about him being quiet. Like we like the someone who stood up and spoke. He served in the military, I think. I forget what branch, whether it was Army, Air Force, whatever. And someone who had served with him was there and was talking. He was like, I can tell by all of like you sitting here, who I don't know all of you for sure, but I think we all knew that Joe is pretty quiet. And it's pretty hilarious. So we've been sitting here and it's quiet or something like that. Like he said some jokes about him being quiet, and like that got everyone laughing and all calm because like. Out of everybody, you know how sometimes you just have somebody pass away, and I say that. He's the only person in my life that's, like, passed away that I knew, really. Like, in terms of family. I've had a few, like, friends of family that have passed away here recently, but never anybody I was super close with. Like, and still no one really that I've ever been super close with. Like, I haven't been truly, like, tested in the ways of mortality in terms of, like, someone I know, like, having an untimely death, you know? I had one guy that I knew that died. He was like 26, but like we weren't homies. You know, we weren't like best friends. But I knew him well. I mean, we were friends. Like I considered us friends. But it wasn't like if you died or Quentin died or one of my friends on here died or like it wasn't like that. It wasn't. I don't know what's gonna happen when something like that happens. And I've thought about it. You ever have a moment where you like try and put yourself in a mindset? Like I've thought like, what would I if Creighton was dead right now? Like how would I think? And like I've thought that way, and really for me, the only people in my life that, at least at this moment, would elicit like a crazy reaction would probably be my dad. Like I'd probably go out in the woods and start cutting trees down and shit, like just out of fury, like just with
for
an axe.
weeks and weeks, and then
Dude,
come out with like a really long beard and like really ripped arms.
Yeah,
like,
something
this
like
is
that.
my life now.
I just go crazy.
You know what?
You're tearing up my heart when I'm with you.
You know what though? Like if that hadn't happened, because I've done like the same mindset thing, like that you have, because like in fact I was kind of like doing it right now as you were talking about. Like I was thinking about like, so I've never lost like a parent.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean I lost my Papa Hal last year, but like, he's the first of my grandparents to pass away since I was 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like since you've been like a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
so,
you're like. When you're a little kid, it's like people die, and it's just you forget about it pretty quick.
Well, I didn't forget about my papa.
I don't mean forget like you don't
mean,
remember. I mean forget about like the pain. Like it's just a thing that happened when you were a kid. You know, you didn't know that person for very long. They died.
Well, he passed away when I was 7, so I was very cognitive of what was going on, and it very much like shaped like my outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the first one that was like, oh shit, you can die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I mean, like, as far, like, I've been very lucky, like, you know, grandparents, parents wise, you know what I mean, to, like, get where I'm at. And I was just thinking about, like, you know, what if my mom died, you know, like, what if my dad died, you know, what if something happened to them, and, like, all of a sudden it was just me and my brother, you know what I mean, or just me and my brother and my sister and my stepbrother, you know, because then, like, all that responsibility falls kind of on me, because I'm the oldest, you know, I mean, I've always taken care of them, like, ever since we were little, you know.
Well, I think that families
I mean, I know
have a certain, like, hierarchy of, if something happens to me, you got Creighton, right? Like, you guys take him in and take care, you know, like, you'd have an uncle or an aunt or a grandma or somebody that would pull you in.
All my uncles are dead.
No, I know, I mean, you know what I mean? Someone
yeah,
in the family is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I'm thinking about...
way too literal.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, at some point down the line, it's just going to be, like, me, you know what I mean? Which is, like...
Yeah, that's everybody.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you know, and it's... Like, you know, I don't want those fuckers looking at me like, you're next, you know? Because I'm not.
Yeah,
but anyways, no, but, like, you know what the funny thing was, though, like, that came out of all that? Like, me and Savannah had, like, just started talking, like, the week before that, like, talking again, like, after years of not really talking. And, like, we hung out that day and went swimming at her pool. It was pretty fun. Like, so, like, we really started hanging out a lot more, like, the same day that it happened. Because I was like, I need to fucking get away from this. This is, like, a lot. And she was like, come swim. We're having, like, a pool party for my cousin's birthday.
That is such a flip-flop of, like... You know, that does make sense, though. Like, trying to fight it with that.
Yeah.
Like,
It was so crazy.
That's how it felt when I got that phone call in California.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, yeah, I do want to go to Disneyland, and we went to Disneyland. Like literally, I got that phone call, and my friends were like, "Are we going to Disneyland?" And I was like, "I don't know, guys." Huh? Oh, bet. Hang up. Yeah, let's go to Disneyland. I need to go to Disneyland, and then we went to Disneyland, and that definitely made me forget about it until I got home and was like, "Yeah, that we're going to a funeral." I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that." You know, it was like that. I never have felt like my dad has always seemed invincible to me, until he, you know about when he stabbed himself?
Yeah, you've told that story before.
Have I told
on
on
the
here?
podcast, yeah.
Okay, yeah. When that happened, there were definitely moments of, like, me going in a room, and just thinking, he dies tonight. Like, this is how it happens, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen tomorrow.
There was another story you told about the Cherokee. Like, whenever you guys went up to Cherokee and, like, something happened in the bathroom and it was, like, just full of blood in there.
Oh, yeah, that was, like...
That one wasn't as serious, but, like...
But at the time, it felt horrifying. Even worse, because
that close?
it had never happened before.
Oh, that had never happened before when you went to Cherokee.
Yeah, or at least it hadn't happened... It had happened like that, but every time it had happened, it had been scary. But this was nothing compared to when he had varicose veins. Yeah. So varicose vein, you know, it's like veins that rise up to the top of the skin, and they're very easy to cut. Yeah. And he was drying off in the shower, and like they were so like tender. Weak and so tender from that he like was drying off, and it just broke one and like sprays blood. So like the paramedics thought it was hilarious. Like everyone was like, "Dude, we gotta take pictures. This looks like a homicide. Like, this is amazing." Like it ended up being a very light situation. It was very tense in the moment, but afterwards it was very funny. But when he stabbed himself. And I held the knife and saw how far it went into his leg. Like, I mean, it was like this water bottle of knife in his leg. Like, it was like that much knife, like, shink into him. And, like, whenever, like, I was on my headphones in my room, like just in a Discord call or something, and I heard him, like, scream from his room. And it was like I'll never know how to replicate a sound like this. Like, this was like hey, I'm about to fucking die.
Yeah, you said that because you were like, it was like a scream that shook the house.
Yeah, it was like a scream that shook the world. Like, I couldn't believe it.
Real quick, like, summarize it, because Tristan said he hasn't heard it before.
So...
Also, we're on 52, not 53. I just realized the title was wrong.
Well, it is technically episode 53, like, in terms of the order we did them. Okay. It's just not in order of... that won't matter. Like,
okay. I didn't know, like, if that's... Because I didn't want you to look back.
No, that won't. I look at YouTube for the titles, not at Twitch.
Okay, cool.
But so my dad, that's a crazy story. He was in his room, and he's an idiot. he's got knives and fucking weapons, like not even the varicose veins have nothing to do with this one. Okay. But like he's got knives and shit everywhere. Like literally would just be on the floor hanging from shit. And he had a fillet knife hanging from his armoire, and it didn't have a case on it or anything. And he's very fuzzy about how exactly it happened, but he says in his mind, what happened was he bumped into the armoire and the. Do I have a knife? I have a knife.
You can't show a knife on Twitch.
I can show a knife on Twitch. Okay, I have a knife. Here's a pin. The knife was like hanging from the armoire, and he like bumps into the armoire, and he just in his peripheral sees the knife go like shing, like fall, and like his arm was up on the armoire, and he tried to go down and catch it, but instead of going down to catch it, he drove it into his leg with his elbow by accident. And the fillet knife, like I'm talking, like legit, like the knife was probably this long. And the blade is from like here down. Like here's the handle, the rest of the blade. The whole blade went into his leg. And like most people that would go through your leg.
That's Isaiah's reaction. By the way, we got a live audience here tonight.
Yes, like, we have a couple of friends here with us. How did he stab himself?
Kristen,
right there.
I
want to hear about it. I've heard this story. Anyway, so he stabs himself.
Sorry.
So my father stabs himself, and my
so
brother's
was
in his
stabbing
room.
himself.
Yeah, there we were stabbing. Michael's in his room. I'm in my room, and we just hear this fucking sound. This like crazy, like hey, get the fuck in here sound. Like
and I can imagine like your father's voice just being like like you know,
Like-
just
like-
deep, because he's got
yeah.
like he doesn't have
'Cause
like
he
a
would-
light voice. He's got like
Yeah.
a deep. It doesn't sound anything like you.
Yeah,
he sounds
he
like
would-
a man.
He
and
would
was
shout.
Like, ah.
He would like shout whenever he wanted to get our attention. You know, that's how he would get. Because we were
Yeah.
far away in that. You remember that house? Like his side of the house is so far
Mhm.
from where, especially where I was. I'm the furthest away, and he would be like, "Hey!" Like if he wanted us to just come see something. We're like,
I was
I was
there
like,
for
"Bitch,
that. I
stand up."
remember.
Yeah, you'd hear a scream. So this was like, and we would all the time ignore it and say that we couldn't hear it. So this one, he was like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I need to like make a noise real quick."
Yeah.
He made, dude, this sound like I imagine when he did it, like it's like he
Like his whole
blew up
body.
like a bullfrog. It was like some crazy fucking
So-
guttural. It sounded like an elk.
Do you
It
think
sounded
he
like
did
an elk
that as soon
screeching.
as he stabbed himself, or was it like kind of a post reaction thing?
It was like a
'Cause-
post react. I think that
Or
It was
'cause,
like- it
the
was a
way
few
you're
seconds at
describing it,
least.
it sounds like it was a like immediately like
No, so he
reacting to
stabs
being
himself
like
he stabs
fuck, I
himself
stabbed
at
myself.
he stabs himself at the armoire.
Yeah.
He screams, and in 1 second I'm up and out my door, and in that moment he's at his door, at the threshold of the door, standing there like holding it, and his leg is black with blood. I mean, it is like a pool on the like it is just, it's not like squirting, it's like gushing out like a garden hose, blood pouring down. Like it is horrifying.
It's something out of a nightmare.
Like yes, like literally like some fucking Outlast looking shit. Like
or like the Shining kind of shit.
yes, like it was horrifying. So me and my brother see it and we look at each other like it's go time, and we grab every towel in the house and like I fold one up and I'm just holding it on his leg. Like
Did y'all wrap his leg at all with like a belt or
you
anything?
can't, bro. He was huge. Like
Yeah.
this was like at one of like maybe not his heaviest, but he was big. This was when he was a big guy, and it took 13 paramedics to get him all the way out the house. Like in terms of, like it was probably 6 or 7 that were actually
Did
moving
they
him.
get him stabilized before they moved him? Or?
Yeah, we were in the
Oh,
room for like an hour probably.
Yeah.
It was. We get him to the hospital, which was an ordeal all on its own, and the doctor said that it was like 2 millimeters from the biggest artery in your leg. That if he cut it, there's no way he'd make it. Like he said, it was like like that close. Like it was stupid how close. He said it was probably the best place to stab you in the leg, because the leg's a pretty shitty place to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Because like there's veins everywhere, and he missed like the crazy ones. He missed the ridiculous bad
the
ones.
ones he wouldn't be able to come back from.
Yeah, and
That's lucky.
the funniest shit was like once we were in the hospital, they patched him up pretty quick. Like it was
Yeah.
fast. It was like clean stitch, boom, you're good.
Did they have did they have to like pump more blood into him or anything, or
I think so. I don't know. I wasn't.
How much? Did
I
he
fell
lose?
asleep. I was.
Oh, you were tired. You're like,
Dude,
I'm over it.
It was such an such a long thing because
an
like I had
exhausting
already
experience.
I had already been awake. I forget who it wasn't. Nick. Someone was doing like a long stream, and I was like staying up all night for it. This happened at like 4 a.m. and I was staying up all night for it. And when this happened, I literally like deafened my Discord and just ran out the room. And fucking, because I just had it on click, like a click. What's so funny, dude? He sounds like a man. Nothing like you, Charlie. Well, yeah, that's Creighton speaking, though. You guys got to remember, as if Creighton sounds like some Greek god.
Wow. What? I do though.
But by the time I was in there and they said that he was gonna be okay, I was like, oh, bet. And they had these chairs in there, and I just sat back and like fell asleep.
Mhm.
And, like, I remember like waking up a bunch of times because like my head would do
Like
this
you
shit.
were like
'cause,
checking on him and stuff.
or no, like I would just like be trying to sleep, and my head would do that shit. You know, where like you don't have anywhere.
I've
to
seen
put
you
it.
do that before, like on long car rides. Like
Yeah.
especially like when my car used to run, because like you do like this thing where like your head would lean all over. And I even got some funny pictures.
I know.
I posted on your birthday.
Yes,
it was
you
hilarious.
did. I saw.
And you're like you'll do like that, and then you'll be like awake, and then like we'll be like Charlie, and be like,
Yeah, I if I have a superpower so that I can sleep anywhere, well, I just look ridiculous.
not when you're wearing sunglasses. You just look like you're like really stoned when
Yeah.
you're wearing sunglasses.
He was out the next day, which was the craziest part to me. Like
Was he like walking the next day?
Yeah, he
or-
walked out. I mean, they like made him use the wheelchair to get outside, but
Mhm.
once he was outside, he like walked to the car. Like he was up and moving pretty quickly, which was like
Was he feeling any pain at all, or not?
probably.
Really?
I mean, I think they had him like good and
Bedded up,
medicated.
yeah.
But he like it wasn't very long before like the scar. There was no scar. Like it got stitched up pretty well.
Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like a knife wound where someone like stabbed you and like jerked it around. Like it was a very thin fillet knife went sing sing, like pulled it in and
Like
out.
basically a needle poking you, but like a bigger needle.
A giant needle.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very sharp,
But that's any
wide
knife.
needle.
All knives are just big needles.
What's up, broskies? Hello, Nathan. Well, I don't think that's true. Creighton. Wait a second. No. That's not true.
Swords are just bigger knives.
Or like a road spike might.
Like, this
be a
is the
big
way it
needle.
goes. Knives are just big needles, and like swords are just big knives. And
That's
then
not the
like
way-
a long broad sword is just a sword. Like what I mean. Like there's no denying that. You catch that, you're either breaking something or like you're getting cut. That's the way it goes.
And that's the way.
And then it cycles
is.
back to like a lance, which is basically just a giant wooden needle.
Oh my god.
Hey, I can't comment in the chat, but noodles are just long ass rice.
That's what Kristen
That's
said.
not true.
Kristen says
That's not
noodle-
even kind of
Kristen
true.
says noodles
rice
are just
is
long
not
rice.
Wheat. Wheat and rice are different. That you shut your mouth with your horrible jokes and stupid rice. I watched the Peanut Butter Falcon today. That shit was amazing. I heard it was amazing. I haven't watched
What's
it
the
yet.
peanut butter falcon?
Oh, Jesus. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not going to explain it. You should watch it. Rice aren't wheat, they're rice. Unless you have wheat rice, in which case you're right.
Fish are
Shut
friends,
up.
not food.
I hate you. Why'd you say that way? That was so hard to read. It sounds like a nightmare, to be honest. What's a machete?
Kristen said that.
A machete is a machete. Stop with your fucking things are different things.
So a machete is just an axe with a longer blade.
That's not even kind of what it
It's
is.
basically what it
Feathers are just a
Nick been on that movie for months. Rice is cereal grain. Zach, wait.
is. So wait, I can pour milk on my
I
rice.
agree 100% with Creighton. Of course you do. What'd you say?
So I can pour milk on my rice. And
You
it's
pour
just
milk on anything.
cereal.
Doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
It's just cereal. What about
I-
flavored rice?
Flavored rice? What do you mean flavored rice?
Like, I put some sugar on it. It's like sugar rice and milk.
That's disgusting.
Isaiah said, "Shut the fuck up."
That is gross. Like you're just saying like some gross shit, like putting peaches on pizza or something.
I put strawberries in my cereal the other day, which was really good.
What kind of cereal though?
Frosted Flakes.
Okay, well yeah, you do that. That's what Frosted Flakes are meant to add shit to it.
Where are you gonna?
If you look at the box, there's like blueberries and strawberries with the Frosted Flakes. Like that's
Oh.
the thing you do.
I had a gross experience the other day. You want me to tell you about it?
I guess.
Okay, so I go on my break, and normally I try to get some fruit or something whenever I go on my break at work. So today there was no like good looking bananas over there, and bananas are like the cheapest thing to buy. So like I was like, fuck, I'm just screwed. And I looked at the raspberries, and they were expensive, but I was like, fuck it. Like raspberries are good. I
They
want to eat
wake
some.
you up. They're stimulus.
So like I bought some, and I'm sitting there eating them, and like Jennifer comes in the office and gets one, or like two or something like that, and then she like is leaning out the door. And I'm just sitting there chewing my raspberry, and I look over at the box, and a worm crawls out of one raspberry and then into another. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I didn't eat any more. But I did finish the raspberry that I had.
I didn't need any more.
And so I took it to the, this counts as a Food Line story, by the way. I took it to the, back to the service desk, and I was like, Jennifer, there was like a worm in my raspberries, and she starts going because she had also ate some of the raspberries.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's okay. It was in the box, not like in yours. And she was like, how do you know there wasn't more? And I was like, I mean, it's not important. And she was like, what? And I was like, I just want either my money back or something else. And she was like, okay. And then I was like, all right. And then I walked over there and I got a box of strawberries for free.
That was a good story.
Yeah.
I had all kinds of ups and downs. It was horrifying at one point.
And we all had
a happy ending.
A happy ending. Look, and then I got home. This is the twist ending
What
that's
shirt am I
sad.
wearing?
I got home and my mom.
It's Reptar, bro.
Nice. I thought I was gonna sneeze. Okay. But anyways, so this is the twist ending. I had some.
There's a twist.
There's a twist ending. So.
You shouldn't have said that. You should have just said it.
So the reason I picked out the strawberries in the first place is because I could eat some then, and then I could get home because I had chocolate dip in the refrigerator and dipped the strawberries in chocolate. And then I got home, and then it was probably about 11 or 1 o'clock at night. I can't remember because it was right before. It was the night we didn't do a podcast, I think. And I open up the fridge and I can't find my chocolate dip. I'm looking all over for this thing, And I text my mom and I was like, hey, have you seen my chocolate dip? And then I go to bed. And then I woke up the next morning and she was like, oh, I threw it out. I thought it was like old strawberry mayonnaise or something like that. And I was like, you didn't read the label where it says in very broad print,
Hold on. Old
chocolate
strawberry mayonnaise.
or strawberry something. She's like, I thought it was old, so I threw it away. And I hadn't even opened it yet, Charlie. All that chocolate dip went to waste. But I did eat the whole box of strawberries anyway.
Blueberries are stupid good for you. It's just protein, Jennifer Jesus. What? Wait. According to the VT, rice is grain. It is the seed of the grass species. Or what? Flint, shut the fuck up. Bananas on cereals is not bad either.
I want to try bananas as cereal. You know what I need to do? Instead of just buying me a banana on break, I just need to buy a bunch of bananas at one time and take them gradually throughout the week.
Shit on. I knew it. The concentration said waves. Tragic coward. Hey, Bumper. They're in here attacking.
But
me
you
for my
want
shirt.
I have a better twist ending.
What? What do you mean a better
The story goes
one? You
on.
just come up with a new one?
The story goes on and on, Charlie.
The chocolate was in the trash and you took it out of the trash.
No.
and kept it. You ate the chocolate out of the trash.
I came home another day and I was like, hey, I bought you some more chocolate dip. And then I had chocolate dip.
That's not a twist.
That's kind of a twist.
That's
it's
a
still a happy
natural resolution.
ending. No, because like, look. The twist ending was that it wasn't a good ending. But then the other twist is that it ends good because I do eventually get chocolate dip. And I dip my strawberries in it. And it's pretty good. And that's my story.
I talk to the chat. I gotta take a piss.
Oh, you don't want one of them to, like...
I'm gonna be gone for 20 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't.
So what you're saying is somebody should steal your chair.
Sup, bitch, Braz Nathan. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. Psych, bitch, Braz Nathan. Oh shit, Bumper's coming to fight. You guys fight. Wait. Bumper, you think you know someone. Creighton on my normal addictions. Strawberries and chocolate. On my normal
I
addictions.
should get a chocolate fountain. I've always wanted one. But I don't know how...
agree.
I feel like it's a lot of maintenance.
I go outside.
Outside. Quickly. One of you, come and steal his chair.
He's gonna get mad.
Alright, I'll steal his chair and then one of y'all get my chair. Sweet.
Little switcheroo.
Okay. Here we go. So Isaiah.
Yes. I'm not putting on the headset.
Oh, that's fine. I sweated you, mine. I mean, mine's sweaty. It's okay though. How's your day been, Isaiah?
My day has been stuff.
But you got a cheeseburger earlier.
Your point?
Is long hair a must in your group?
Yes,
It is one of our requirements, but Charlie and Quentin don't have long hair. I think they're the only two, now that I really think about it.
And,
Are they like the alter ego versions of you guys?
Oh, they might be.
Get the fuck out of my chair.
We're having an interview, Charlie.
Get out of my chair. Oh, Isaiah.
We're gonna start talking about
Careful,
gyms
mind
and
the
shit.
wire.
I like your socks.
There is a large...
Look, his socks match his shirt. How come you never match, Charlie?
Because I never leave my room. There is a large, scary animal outside.
what's up.
What?
I was kidding. Okay.
Nick said what's up.
There's an animal far away making a noise, is what I heard.
Yeah, Nick said what's up, Isaiah.
Uh,
With the finger was closed.
Nathan is very abusive. I agree. Shut up. Damn. Hit him immediately.
Hey,
with it.
his
on,
his hair type matches his socks.
Is long hair a must in your group?
I'm the awkward dad.
A nice improv plan. Don't encourage him.
Thank
Is
you.
that what
I did
it
have a good improv plan.
is? What's up? Creighton is the awkward dad.
Oh shit. Hey, so
What?
like did I tell you what I purchased the other day?
No, I have a horrible feeling just based on your face right now. You look like you're like, oh, I have to say this thing I didn't want to say to Charlie that I'm gonna say now.
I bought an inner tube.
You gotta shut the door.
Isaiah.
Oh, he's taking his shoes.
Okay.
That's probably-
Yeah,
probably-
that's
probably-
a good idea.
Probably a good thing to take.
But yeah, I bought an inner tube. No, it's for us to ride it.
Don't say us. Like we're both gonna.
It's an
do it.
investment.
Think about all the activities.
Yeah.
Don't you help him? Help him. When are we gonna use it?
So,
when are we
like,
gonna go use
The
it?
plan is for me to eventually get my dad to let us use his boat Sunday. Not Sunday as in we'll use it. Fuck, I don't have to work Sunday. That's a good idea.
Let's go inner tubing on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a smaller one too, so like it'll go really, really fast.
Like the tube is small or the boat is small?
It's so you know those tubes that
What
they
kind of
use-
boat is it?
The boat is small, but it's got a big engine.
Okay.
But you know those tubes that you float down the lazy river in? Picture that, but with like a floor, and it's gonna be pulled behind a boat.
Yeah, I love those things. I've been on. Dude,
How much do you weigh though?
well, right now I don't know. Usually 170, but less than that right now. Probably more
Okay,
like
so you're like
160
wide
something.
right at the weight limit. Or no, 160 something, you're good. The weight limit on that thing's like 175 or some shit.
Why'd you get it then?
Huh?
Why'd you get it?
It's a weight goal for me.
Oh, okay. That's a good
That's
idea.
a good incentive, right?
Yeah. If only the gyms were open.
They're opening Monday, apparently.
Are they? Like they said that
so,
2 Mondays
right,
in a row
that's
now.
what I'm saying, right? My mom's like,
They're probably gonna wait till the month is over so they can charge people.
look, my mom's like, for sure saying it's gonna be this Monday, so. But I'm hoping it'll be Monday, so that way when I go to the beach the weekend after next, I'll be able to, like, you know, exercise at the gym. By the way, are you coming to visit at all, or are you?
I don't know yet. That's gonna be like a when it happens kind of.
Okay, well, just let me know, because, like, you're welcome to come and, like, stay, because, like...
That's
or
not an
visit.
investment. That completely depreciates in value.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Tristan, listen to me. My fun and my memories
Do you
will
understand what an
never
investment is?
depreciate in value.
Do you understand what?
I'm investing in memories, Charlie.
Okay, that's
I'm
a good-
investing in summertime fun.
Well, just don't say the words investment.
It's an investment.
No.
it's an
when
investment.
you spend money on something
Look,
and it depreciates in value, it's no longer an
look,
investment.
It's my own inner tube with my own rope. that I
It's
spent-
simply a good purchase.
You know how much I've spent on it though altogether?
What?
The most expensive one they had there was like $500, which was like crazy, and I was like, "Fuck that, no." So I spent like $50.
Did you ever get on one of the flying ones back in the day before they got banned?
No, there were flying ones.
They had these big flat ones that you held on to, like that was like the shape of like a sugar glider wing, and you would hold on to the edges. And once it started pulling you at a certain speed, you would like pull up with your hands, and the wind would catch it, and it like you'd fly around in the air on the tube. And they had to stop because people were like dying because they got like 40 feet up.
What?
They get like 40 feet up, going so fast, and then let go.
Look,
and just
I gotta
fucking
look up a picture
break
of
their neck
this.
in the water.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
here, I'll show you the flying inner tube.
Show us, cause I gotta see
Flying.
that. That's fucking amazing.
Inner tube. Oh, there's one.
Do you still have them?
No, I don't. Maybe some versions, but the one I'm talking about was like very flat and very dangerous. See, they probably won't even. So imagine like this one. Or
That
like
looks
this.
cool.
See how you're up in the air? It looks like a jet ski.
Yeah, but that looks way more safe than what you're.
Yeah,
describing.
and that is way more safe, probably. Like it
It looks like
there's
it'd
a
be
limit.
hell on your back though. You know what I mean? Like whenever you
Nah.
come down, like your
Nah,
spine
it'd
would
be great.
compress a little bit.
Nah, you're on the water.
I know you're on the
And
water,
the
but-
inner tube
but-
itself is
but,
also
like,
bouncy.
hitting
There's
the
a lot
water
of
at that
give.
speed- Okay.
I mean, you're not. It's not like stiff. You know, it's not like if you're sitting in a like wood chair.
Tristan said, "Creighton, are you gonna invite me to go to the gym with you?" That's a very vampire thing to say, Tristan.
It is.
It's like, hey, are you gonna invite me in your house?
That's
so I
an
can
investment in yourself, not in an inner tube. Exactly.
sit-" That's me
You
investing
just
in
say
myself.
no. Yes, in yourself, not the inner
Yeah.
tube.
It's
Just
still an investment.
inject the inner tube with garlic.
Inject the inner tube. Of
Yeah,
garlic.
if we put garlic in the inner tube, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Well, he could charge people to ride it. Flint, why?
That's that's a good point too.
Why the
Dude,
fuck would you come?
I
in
was
and
at
say
the
some shit
state
like that
park
and
one
help them?
time, and like these guys just rolled up with a boat and an inner tube and were like, "Hey, $5 a ride," and they would do it for like 30 minutes, going up and down like at the Watery
$5
State
for
Park.
30 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, but they were making a killing because like kids would like.
How would
you
they
know,
make a killing? You're talking 60
I don't
bucks a
think
day.
you. I don't think you understand like how packed the like.
I don't think you
Lake
understand
Watery
how
State
it doesn't
Park
matter
is.
how packed it
Well-
is if it's 30 minutes.
Well, it's not just like one kid every 30 minutes. I mean, we're talking about like groups of like 5 at a time.
For 30 minutes. So
I
is
mean,
it $5
let's
for
see,
the group or
that's
$5 a person?
$25 every 30
So
minutes.
it's for each person?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad then.
That's not too bad at all.
$5 until you fall off.
That's $50 an hour, Charlie. That's more than I make now. He's thinking about it.
I'm trying to think of how, like,
We can monetize this?
no.
Well, obviously
not
we'll
trying
put
to
the
do
shirts off logo on the side.
Okay, you're right. That we will do.
And,
No, I don't
and
know.
the link to the Discord in the chat.
Imagine. Now it's an investment. Exactly.
Yeah, see? I'm smart.
No, you're not. You didn't have that idea.
I think I had.
Someone else had that idea.
I think I had.
You were saying
I
it's
would
for
look-
memories, and now it's for money.
But look, it's for memories and money. The two M's in life. M&M. You know what I mean? That's what I've always said.
Money and memories.
Yeah. M&M's. I should be a motivational speaker.
No, you shouldn't. Even a little.
Look, my philosophy has always been like, if you can't think of like what future use this has, just get it, and somebody else will come up with the future use, and then you'll already have it, and it'll be your idea.
People. Hey Charlie, remember when we fucking scammed those kids at the river? Good times.
It'll be like an episode of Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Like, I want a quarter for 5 seconds on the internet.
Bro, I remember like never having had a jawbreaker, and like always thinking jawbreakers were this fucking head-sized ridiculous
Right?
fucking
Me
candy.
too.
And then
It's so
seeing
disappointing.
just the ones as big as your fist, being like, "There's no way you could eat this. How do you even get this in your mouth?" Like, it's fucking ridiculous. I remember thinking like, "That show lied to me," and I loved that show, and I loved how they made you think that those things had to be the greatest, like, tasting thing ever. Like they made, dude. Remember the one with the like fucking museum of jawbreakers?
Yeah.
We're like going up the fucking wall, and there's like he's like, "Oh shit, they got him from Spain!" Like all like the crazy shit. like that shit was that show. There's only one episode of that show I didn't like.
What episode?
When they go to the future and it's like old Ed and Eddie, like the old people version. I hated that
I
episode.
don't remember that episode.
It's like one of the last episodes. So they're like old. They're like these old people.
I didn't.
Like they go through like a time machine or some shit.
I love that the later seasons take place with them actually in school. Like for like
Yeah.
the first like couple seasons, it's like very much.
Just in the cold.
It's very repetitive, which isn't bad. Like it works well for the show. Or I like the one where they start tripping. You know what I'm talking about? Like where they start having different ideas about things, and like the whole world just falls apart around them.
Yes, I remember that one.
That was a trippy episode.
Remember the movie at the school where Ralph puts the lemons in his eyes so he can see Jimmy and what's her name? What Sarah and Jimmy when they're like pixies or something and they're like fucking manipulating people.
Yeah.
He's like, I see that thine devils, and he like he squishes the lemons in his eyes like I can see it. He starts fucking them up. Bro, what was that?
That was like a
that whole episode
Valentine's
was-
Day thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, it was so good. That whole episode. That
Rolf
show,
is the best, like, on that show. I
I
think.
don't know, bro. I really liked Johnny.
I thought you were about to say Kevin. I was about to say,
Kevin was
get the
cool.
fuck out
so-
of here.
Kevin was cool in the Alien episode when they thought aliens were there, and he like
Oh,
goes all commando
That was part
mode.
of like a 5-part thing with like kids, codename Kids Next Door,
Yeah.
and like that was such a cool episode.
Dude,
A
that
cool little chunk of things that they did.
that was the movie for that show. Has one of the greatest, like paced, like Cartoon Network movies. Like, you've got Cartoon Network make movies, you know. They like to
Yeah,
be
good
fair,
one,
out of
one
all
team.
the like Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, all that shit that made their own movies, Cartoon Network had the best ones to me. Like you had the Jimmy Neutron movie was pretty good. The
Rugrats going to Paris. The Wild Thornberry and Rugrats.
you know what?
movie
Nah,
crossover.
now that I say it, all that shit, those are all bangers. What am I saying? The Rugrats movie was phenomenal. The one where like was that in Paris?
So the second one,
I'm talking
I
about
think
the
the
one.
first one was in Paris, and then or I might be thinking about the second one. There's one where like
The one where they
Dill
lose-
first
the one where the
gets
babies get
introduced.
lost.
Yes, is a really good one.
That one's amazing.
And the Reptar like heart
With the
thing that they
Reptar card, yeah, that one. Reptar, Reptar bonus. There was the Rograt movie was a ball.
Reptar
was a
Rep.
banger. What?
Reptar rep. Like you represent your Reptar.
The Rugrats movie was a banger.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Neutron,
The movie?
the movie was
Which
a banger
one?
with the aliens.
Okay.
That one was nuts. It
Wait,
was
which
so
one
good.
with aliens?
Where
the very,
the
very first one with the
with the like dome looking like in the shell aliens.
You gotta be more specific. They come back later in the show, so like.
Oh, Like, it was like the
Is
first
it
big
the
movie.
very first one.
I
then,
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You had the
The chicken ships.
the Danny Phantom movie was really good. The chicken one. Oh yeah, the chicken one.
The chicken ships.
The chicken ships. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. That one was amazing.
Why were there? Ships,
was there a
chicken
Timmy
wings?
Turner
Was it just 'cause
movie?
they were shaped like eggs?
Was there a good? Oh, when Timmy has to fast forward himself until he doesn't have the fairies anymore.
Oh,
That's a
that was
great one.
The Channel Chasers.
Channel Chasers, dude.
Yeah.
That one was great.
There's
And
a
then
lot
Cartoon
of-
Network, you've got not just the first Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but the second one, Good Will Hunting,
Yeah.
was also a banger. The first one was way better.
Yeah.
But Good Will Hunting was pretty good too. And then you've
It's a
got
Good Will
the
story.
Codename Kids Next Door movie, bro, where number
With-
0 comes
yes.
out. Bro. Talk about dude. I gotta watch all those again. Dude, those were such good movies when we were kids. What was the one we were talking about? The Ed, Edd n Eddy one. The Ed, Edd n Eddy one, to me, like, has the best pacing of it. Remember the beginning where it's like the snapshots of something gone wrong, and we never find out what it is? Where, like, the neighborhood is in disarray, like, there's trees collapsed on houses and shit, and, like, they're, like, going to Eddie's room, and they're, like, packing bags, they're like, we fucked up this time, guys! Like, they're really losing it, and, like, it cuts to Ralph and fucking Kevin and them, and they've got, like, fucking chunks out of their neck, like, their shirts are, like, ripped up, they're like, we're gonna fucking kill him this time, like, bro, I love
That's
when
what
they...
the whole premise of that movie is, right?
Is
they're
they're just
running away
getting
from
revenge.
the,
Yeah, they're
well,
running
away
away from
the-
everybody.
and we don't really find out what they did, but that's
We
not
never
the point.
do. And the point ends up being that, like at the very end, was that everyone came, like, together to say fuck that guy to his brother,
Yeah.
because his brother
Was the
was
worst.
the worst. And I was so excited. Like, I remember watching it and being like, his brother's gonna be
It's
awesome,
a good
right?
lesson, though.
Who played his brother? Bro, whoever did that character, like, the only character in the show's history that wasn't a main character.
There
They
wasn't
never
a kid
show
either.
They never show any parents.
They never show any adults.
They never show adults. They never show anyone. They only show the kids in the cul-de-sac and the Canker sisters. That's the only people they ever show. And then in the end of the movie, like talk about a show stealer. Like, he owned that scene, you know? Like, he was amazing. It was like, for people that have watched it, it's like Ben in the latest season of Ozark. Like, just every part of the show, every scene he's in, is his. He owns. It's phenomenal. And, like,
Is the guy who played him? Or are you talking about, like,
I don't know. Hold on, let me see. Ed, Edd n Eddy movie.
brother?
Ed,
Eddie's older brother.
Okay. Ed. God damn it. God damn it. With your clicks. Ed. Spelled so weird. Eddie movie.
Nathan said, which crossover was your favorite?
Dude, I really liked when Timmy went to Jimmy Neutron's world.
Yeah.
That was a
pretty
good
cool.
crossover. Was there ever a Danny Phantom crossover?
So there was a crossover video game with him, Jimmy Neutron, SpongeBob, and Very Loud Parents. And I played it. It was pretty good.
Was that the
Played
Big
it on
Picture
Game
show? The movie?
Huh?
Was Ed, Edd n Eddy's Big Picture show the movie?
They only ever had one movie, right?
Serving as the series finale? Yeah, okay, that's it then. Let's see. Ed, what Eddie's brother? Terry Klassen. Who's this guy?
Terry Klassen.
I don't know, we're about to find out. This dude.
He kind of looks like Eddie.
He's got a nomination for something. What do you get? Daytime Emmy for directing in an animated program for Martha Speaks. Okay.
What's Martha Speaks?
I don't know. He's done a ton of shit. He's a big voice actor, it looks like. Wow, he's been in... Hold on, how many credits is that? He's been doing shit for like 35 years.
Yep, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Thank you, Nathan. I was like trying to think of like what it was called the whole time.
He has 147 acting credits. It's all animated. He was in Dragon Ball Z, Sausage Party, Cyber 6, Escaflowne. I don't know what that is. Looks like an anime or something. His IMDb is just literally all animated.
What's the crossover that Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy had with kids?
I haven't watched that show. Not much.
Grim Adventures of
like,
Billy and Mandy?
yeah, that was
That
one of
shit
those.
was funny as
I
hell.
know. That was one of the ones where it was like my dad watched it and was like, "You can't watch this." Right? How dumb is that? Like, out of all the
Oh
shows.
God.
I know.
Well,
We
that
had
did
this
have some
argument-
meta
We had this
humor.
conversation yesterday. What?
That did have some meta humor in it, though.
It really did. I remember. I saw some of them, but like, we just weren't allowed because the Grim Reapers.
So
were-
it crossed over with Codename Kids Next Door at one point.
how? Like who came into which show?
I
Like the
I
Grimm,
think
like
it was
they
just
went
like
into
a
theirs.
mutual crossover. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was one episode of Codename Kids Next Door with them in it, and then there was one episode of Grimm.
So like one of each.
I think, but I can't remember.
Dude, Codename Kids Next Door was so
you know,
good.
liking that watch, bro. Oh, thank you.
Poor Charlie. Yeah. Dude, you know what Codename Kids Next Door was for me? It was the first of those like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon shows that had like a not just definitive storyline, but like a really enticing and like dramatic one. Like where
Yeah.
when the
Well,
big
Ben 10
moments
was
happen.
like that for me. You know what I mean?
Ben 10 Alien Force was like that for me. The first Ben 10 was like it had its moments, but when they were
The-
teenagers
the
and
first
Kevin was like a
season-
homie
Yeah.
and Gwen was like badass, that was when I was like, oh
That-
shit, this is real now. It was so good.
That was cool. I like the first one though, cause like the whole like summer like spent in the RV thing was like really cool to me as a concept, and the whole like Philgax in like the first couple of like episodes.
Vilgax, wasn't that the main bad guy?
Yeah, he was like fucking terrifying. Like, cause he gets blown up in like the first episode, and then the whole like first season he's like in this tank like sending different bad guys to go after Ben. And then, like, at the end of the fucking season, he comes and he's just fucking, like, this shredded alien, like, ripped as fuck, like, gonna fuck Ben up.
I don't remember that show enough, dude. Like,
And then he had these things, like, these tubes that would, like, plug into his arms, and his arms would get even bigger, like, ripped as fuck. And
I
then
was
they,
really into the first season of Young Justice.
and then they turned him into a squid.
That, like, had
Alien
that
Force.
similar... Like, Young Justice
Yeah.
and the Ben 10 Alien Force had that very similar, like, feel.
Art style?
Yeah, and the art style.
Yeah.
Like,
You know they
I
turned...
could never... Like, I can't get into new animated shit, like, in that world anymore. It's so
Yeah.
hard. Like, the only things I like right now are Rick and Morty. And, like, dude, I wish they'd do Gravity Falls again, though. I'd watch Gravity Falls.
Yeah, they turned Philgax into a squid in Alien Force.
Did they actually? Like a
So-
shitty little squid or something?
Yes, it was... No, not like a shitty little squid, like a big, like, kraken squid. And what it was...
Oh.
Well,
That makes sense,
It was
though.
kind of dumb. Like,
Oh,
I
is
didn't
it?
like the episode.
I
no.
stopped watching after
So,
the first season of
He
Alien
comes
Force.
to Earth, right? Like, apparently he's just been floating around out there this whole time, like, not in custody at all. Like, and Ben's, like, almost fucking killed him a bunch of times. And then, like, he comes to Earth, like,
Imagine being
having defeated, like, the biggest challenges of a bunch of planets and challenges Ben to this thing. And Ben, like, somehow defeats him by fighting him underwater and turning into an alien that's bigger than him. And he just, his whole body armor disappears and he just turns into a giant squid. And, like, it's dumb. It's,
Imagine being Vilgax. And from the time this little wristwatch gets put on a 10-year-old, just getting your shit waxed. like you can't keep up with this 10-year-old. Imagine being that, like, fucking shitty.
Who's your favorite villain from that show? Because they had, like, a
I
great
really don't
set
remember
of
any other
villains.
ones. Like,
You
I don't
remember,
I
like,
don't remember any
do you
villains
remember,
from
like,
that show.
the werewolf one? Or, like, the one where it's, like, the clowns or whatever? That was, like, a gang of clowns with, like, these weird meta-human powers?
The little I remember that show was him and his cousin.
Or Ghost Freak? Ghost Freak was
Was
a
it his
villain.
cousin or his sister? Gwen.
His cousin.
That's
It
his
was
cousin?
Yeah.
Well, it was those two and the grandpa. All I
It was
ever
a
remember
weird
is them
ship
being
for
awesome.
them. It was very...
Was there a ship?
There's a ship.
That's
There's a
gross.
ship out there for Ben and Gwen.
That's disgusting.
And, like, the worst part of it is...
Teen Titans was the show for me.
The worst part of it is Gwen. Have you seen the meme for it? It's like Gwen and Ben 10 Alien Force is just Ben's design with longer hair and bigger lips.
I don't even want to look at it. That's like Rick and Morty though. Summer and
Jerry. isn't it?
Jerry have the same like head. Like their head is the same. It's just different hair.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like where everything's at and the shape. And then I think with Morty, it's Morty and Rick are the same. Like in like their like the shape. I think, but I might be wrong there. I've seen that. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Shit like that's always super cool when you notice it. Like where it's like, oh, there's a
I might have
specific
saved
design
it. Do
choice
you want
here.
me to find it and like show it to you?
Yeah, if you can find it.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Reach that.
Dude, grab. So like, Justin Roiland's got that new show coming out. Fuck, what's it called? There's Easter eggs that connect Gravity Falls and Rick and Morty. Yes, there's a character with a shirt that has a code on it in both shows.
What? Rick and Morty?
In Rick and Morty and in Gravity Falls.
Oh,
because
yeah,
Justin
they've been
Roiland
trying to
and
connect those for years. But I mean, they are technically connected anyway, right?
kind of. So like Justin Roiland and Emil Hirsch, the guy that makes Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Is it Emil Hirsch?
Alex Hirsch.
Alex Hirsch. Who am I
They're-
thinking of?
I don't know.
Think of another one.
You're
Anyway,
thinking of Emil
Alex Hirsch and Justin Roiland are friends, so they decided to do that. I bet you will see that character in Justin Roiland's new show, the one with the aliens Hold on. God damn it. What's it called?
It's
Just
called
like-
something next door or something like that.
I thought there was one more show that was supposed to have the Easter eggs too, but
Well, it never got made. It was like in pre-production before Rick and Morty was,
I
and
sent it to
didn't
you
get
on
made.
Twitter
I think.
if you want to.
Solar Opposites.
Yeah.
That's the one.
I sent it to you on Twitter if you want to give that a look. See,
TV series 2020.
is it good?
I don't know. Wait, Corvo.
Is it just on Hulu? I haven't seen a lot of ads for it on Hulu.
I'm not sure yet. Hold on, let me see. 16 episodes. Is it gonna show? Wait. There are 2 seasons? Or one
Already?
season? It's just 1 season, right? It just got released. Anyway, I bet that show he'll have more Easter eggs going, like showing both of them. It's probably just a way to build up both shows, Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites, and like have them meet up one day.
Mhm.
You know that he'll do that,
Yeah.
like at the very least, which is awesome. He's making VR stuff. Like he's got like a whole VR.
Rick and Morty experience, right?
Well, not just that, but like he's got his own VR company
Oh,
that he
nice.
like makes games and stuff for VR.
I sent you the picture of it on Twitter if you want to show
You did?
the stream.
Let me see. I missed 10 seconds ago and I didn't know this existed. Hold on. Look at this fucking abomination. I hate that. That is the worst thing I've seen today. And I've seen 8 things I didn't like today.
8? What did you? Well, did you see the thing that you didn't
I
like?
don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Was it somebody naked?
No.
Who was it?
it's a very specific number.
Yeah.
I count, okay?
You count what? Wait, was it like 8 nipples on something that should only have 2?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Was it Evie?
No, she's a dog. She's supposed to have more
I
than
knew, but
2.
was something wrong with her nipples?
It was Homeboy from the Twilight movies. What's his name?
Shovelface?
No, what? Twilight.
Robert Pattinson.
No, the other one. Who's the other one?
Jake, fuck, what's his name?
What?
It's Taylor
Taylor
Lautner.
Lautner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there it is.
Have you ever seen the Vampire Suck movie? The
Yes.
spoof? Oh my god.
I
When
went
she's
to
on the
theaters
bike,
and saw
when
that.
she's on the bike and he's running next to her and he's like, Bella, or Becca, don't drink that milk. You're lactose intolerant. It'll be horrible for you. She just keeps doing shit that he's
Yeah.
saying not to do. Shark Boy? Yes, Shark Boy.
Shark
I
Boy.
hated Shark Boy Lobby.
Why?
I hated it.
I
hated
I think this
that
is like
movie.
the same line in the sand as like Rise of Skywalker for me and you. Like, I know Shark Boy and Lava Girl isn't like a good movie, but I enjoyed it for like what it is. You know what I mean?
Dream.
It's a movie that this guy wrote for like, you know, his son and stuff, or whatever his son wrote. I don't remember. You know, the whole thing is like the son like wrote a movie for the dad to make, and the dad did it because it's the same guy who directed Spy Kids. What are you looking at?
Caden Boyd, the kid who played the main kid.
Where's he at these days?
I
Oh
don't know.
my god.
Let's see, IMDb. Let me see.
He looks kind of like a discount. What's
He got
his name?
nomination.
He looks like discount Andy Samberg.
Young Artist Awards, Best Performance in a Commercial for McDonald's. That's his nomination for an award. He was in Mystic River? What?
He's in X-Men Days of Future Past. I mean,
He's Young Angel.
Oh.
He's in Dodgeball. He plays Timmy. He's got a fair little amount
That's
of.
not bad.
He's got a fair little amount of things he's been in.
It's a shame he's only won for the McDonald's thing.
Oh, he didn't even win. He was nominated.
It's a shame he was only nominated for the McDonald's thing. Wait, what
What's
award
the
was?
last thing he's in? He's gonna be in Cult Classic, a TV movie. Future, a cult classic. He was in The Resident, NCIS, Heathers, The Mick, Long Distance.
He was in Heathers.
What's Heathers?
Heathers. We've talked about Heathers on here before. He's in Heathers the show though. Is Heathers the show the musical? You guys don't watch Heathers?
I'm not watching.
Fuck.
I'm not looking anymore into this.
Okay.
He hasn't done much since Shark Boy and Lava Girl. To be fair, he was in Mystic River though.
Well, he made
Mystic
so much.
River. That was the. I think it was the first movie Sean Penn won an Oscar for.
He made so much money off of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Why would he need to? You know what I mean?
I feel like you think people make way more money than they do.
I know George Lopez was in that movie, and that like fucking made that movie.
What? That made the movie? To
Yeah,
you?
that made the movie to me. Cause like I was already pre-terrified of George Lopez from like waking up in the at 3 a.m. and hear, you know, when his show would come on. Oh.
Am a little high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the song.
Yeah, and then, like, because that shit would wake you up at 3 a.m, like after you fell asleep watching SpongeBob, and he would be like his face just in
That
the
was
camera
always
going
such
like,
that was always such a weird show to watch right after SpongeBob.
yeah.
Never made
But
a
it
lot
was
of
still
sense.
good, and like after a while, I kind of got into it because the mom was funny as hell. Because the mom.
Sean Penn hasn't been nominated for a movie in 12 years.
What's wrong with Sean Penn?
I don't know. He's awesome. I mean, he won Best Actor for Mystic River, the movie that Homeboy from Shark Boy and Lava Girl was in. He won for Milk, and then he was nominated for I Am Sam, Sweet and Low Down. Is that a porn?
No, that might be about
Dead Man Walking. What? I'll
Sweet
tell you
and
what it's
Low.
about. In the 1930s, jazz guitarist Emmett Ray idolizes Django Reinhardt, faces gangsters, and falls in love with a mute woman.
That's a lot
That is
going
a
on
lot.
in that movie.
It's an hour and 35 minutes. Comedy, drama, music. 1999.
Did it
PG-13.
win any award? Wow, it's
Yeah, he got
He's got a high
nominated for an
score.
Oscar.
Huh.
The movie got two Best Actress in a Supporting Role and Best Actor in a Leading Role. That's what it got nominated for.
We
It was
should
just
check that
acting.
out.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like I don't mean right now.
The
like,
Low Rider. And she was fine as hell. Okay, that's the one. I remember an episode of George Lopez where his daughter's boyfriend is on steroids and tries to fight George. His daughter was cute. His wife was hot.
His wife was really hot.
Bro, his wife.
His wife
What's his
and
wife's
the
name?
mom from the Wizards of Waverly Place was really hot.
George Lopez. I am.
Dang, Isaiah's not like falling asleep.
He's trying to download Twitch.
George Lopez,
Ah.
IMDb. No, not the
Wait, what
person.
did you
I
type,
need the
Kristen?
show.
MILFs.
George Lopez
yeah.
TV series, IMDb. Okay, here we go. What was her name? Angie.
Yeah. Let's see what.
Constance Marie. Damn.
Damn, she's still hot.
She's in a show right now. Alexa and Katie.
What's that about?
I don't know. Let's see. Alexa and Katie. Lifelong best friends, Alexa and Katie are eagerly anticipating.
It looks
Start
like
of their-
something
It
my
looks like a
sister will
Disney
watch.
Channel show
Yeah.
or something. It's a Netflix.
Yeah, it's a
Start of their
Netflix
freshman
Disney.
year of high school. The pals confront a crisis that leaves them feeling like outsiders at a time when what seems to matter most is fitting in. And then they kill a child. What?
What?
No, I'm kidding. I added the last one. Imagine that? Could you imagine that happen?
That sounds like more like the end of the fucking world plot than anything.
Yeah, bro, that show
It's so good.
is so good.
It would be even better.
That
if
is
she
the
was in it.
easiest binge show on Netflix to me. Second easiest. The easiest is actually
Stranger Things.
No, I'm Not Okay With This, which is very in the world of Stranger Things and the end of the fucking world and all those. Great show. She's on Instagram. Oh shit. I'm talking
What's her
about the mom.
Instagram name?
Probably the same thing. It's probably pretty professional for it to be whatever her name is. I already forgot her name.
And does
I
she
looked
have
at it a
nudes
second
on
ago.
there?
Does she what?
Does she have nudes on there? I need
I
them
feel
for.
like probably not.
I need them for research purposes.
research purposes.
Research purposes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all.
I just broke my neck.
Is that his real life wife? Like who's his
I
wife?
don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Who's George Lopez's real wife?
Yeah.
Figured out.
Is he actually married or no?
George Lopez's wife.
Was George Lopez in The Office at all?
Anne Serrano from 1993 to 2011. The couple has a daughter, Ryan, born in 96 on September 27th. I'm older than their daughter. Lopez announced he and his wife had decided to end their marriage in 2011. Other than that, looks like no, he's not married.
What's George Lopez up to these days?
I don't know.
I haven't really seen.
We
him.
really get locked in these like Googling and IMDb.
Yeah.
of
Well,
these guys.
we should keep everybody informed.
He hasn't done anything since 2017, and he's not involved in any. Oh wait, that's producer. Hold on. I don't care about producer credits. I want to see his fucking filmography. Oh, he's okay. He's got a lot of shit happening. Walking with Herb is completed. The Tax Collector's in post-production. No Man's Land is in post-production. At Last is in post-production. And then The Faction of a Hitman is in pre-production. So he's got 5 things coming out.
He's got a lot of like Spanish stuff. I noticed, like, you know, which I'm not surprised by. I mean, he's Hispanic, but I mean, like, it seems more he's leaning more into that audience than like a general audience. You know what I mean? Or general, what we would
I mean,
consider
that's like
general
Jackie
audience.
Chan. You know Jackie Chan, like, while he is an actor, he's also, like, a famous musician.
Yeah,
Like, in China. I think China?
or someplace.
Whoever.
Does he have any
Chinese?
good music? Is he like?
Apparently, it's
is he
China.
Chinese?
Yeah. And he's like a romance. He sings romantic music.
What?
Yeah. He's like a
Can we
romance.
play some of it?
Probably not without getting in trouble.
Oh. I wonder if it's any good though.
He's so big in China. Yeah, I mean, he's huge.
He's big
okay.
here.
Okay, bro.
He's
Means you
doing
are.
Rush Hour like 3,
4.
4, or whatever.
3 is already out.
Fuck.
Uh,
Oh hey,
He also
Isaiah's
did porn
here.
back in the day. Did he actually?
Just one.
Just one.
Jackie Chan did a porn.
Just one.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Is it like a real porn though, or is it like some Sylvester Stallone softcore shit where they just make out?
It's real porn.
Real porn?
I can't find it anywhere.
He probably had it all taken down because he killed everybody that was involved.
It's not real porn? I don't know. I'm being told by a reliable source
Yeah.
that it is real porn. I always thought George Lopez was a bit cringe for me. I didn't like the show. I liked the show in the very beginning. I didn't like it after like season 3.
Really?
I started feeling like he's saying. It started feeling a little like cringy and fake.
I like the show. I
It's
thought it
like
was
an
pretty
adult
fun.
movie, but I don't think it's porn. I can confirm he did all his stunts in that porno. I bet he did. He's a really good singer, bro. Can I get a link?
To the porn or to
Where
the
are they
scene?
now? Part of the podcast. Exactly. Oh, Lord. I can confirm. You already read. I already read that. I hate when I already read things. It's this fucking animation. Quentin.
Is
Quentin.
the animation? Why are you blaming the animation for your eye problems?
It's not my. Why did you say that? That was so mean. That's such a shitty thing to say. Why did you say it like
Because
that?
you're about to shit all over Quentin. He put a lot of hard work into this.
Yeah, and he can fix it. It's garbage, Quentin. Apparently, he had a really bad day at work.
Today?
Yeah.
What happened?
Hold on, let me read the thing and see if it's even like if I can read it.
He worked today?
Yeah. So they're doing like a graduation, or they're technically gonna do graduations somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how. They're trying to film it, so I guess we will find out. He said, let me see. Let me read this real fast and see if it's okay to read it. So it's not adult. It's like, but it's not quite porn. There is nudity involving his penis.
Okay.
What's the name of the movie? Nathan has to check it out for research purposes. God, this. Okay. He said, God, this shoot's a shit show. I'm mentally checked out with a collective maybe 30 minutes of sleep in me. The staff are pretty much planning this on the fly. Someone's talking shit, like I can't hear them like saying what they're saying about me making suggestions, all like with an exclamation point. At least I'm doing shit. Like I would genuinely rather have. Okay, I'm not gonna say the rest. The rest gets a little personal.
Can I read it?
Yeah, you can read it. You know all the people involved.
Ooh, I love hearing gossip about it. Let's see.
Uh,
I love that his name in your phone is Quinto.
yes, it was. Yes, everybody's got a weird name on my phone, or most people do. Nathan, did you watch the other movie he's in? There's the Peanut Butter Falcon, and then there's something like Sunny Boy or something. Like it's about his, yeah, it's about his early Honey Boy. You haven't seen it yet?
That's what it's called, Honey Boy.
Yeah, it's about it's a like an autobiographical story about his
the movie
wife.
is called All in the Family.
Is it actually? Are you serious? You're not kidding. That's my next watch. I got you, Nathan. Nathan, when are you watching it? Like tonight? Like in an hour-ish?
What, you guys gonna watch it together?
Maybe, if he's down.
And hold junk together?
What?
What?
Like I... You try and make jokes, and you just say them in such weird verbiage. Like it just sounds
Are you
stupid.
criticizing my verbiage?
Yes, it's
Don't
ridiculous.
criticize my verbiage.
Just be like, what, you guys gonna like just hold each other's dicks or something? Like just say that. Don't say
No.
hold junk. Like
Yeah.
it just sounds weird.
Well, that's gonna segue into more stuff. But then
It sounds
you-
like you're in a
you messed me
shitty
up.
PG-13 movie that should be rated R, but they like had to change all the words so they could get a bigger audience.
Maybe I am, Charlie.
You wanna watch it? I'm down, Skis. Creighton, come on, bro. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, just say that we're touching our penises together, because that's what me and
Are you
Nathan.
touching them head to head?
So the reason it's called a porno is because there's a sex scene, but it's one scene and there's actually plot to the whole movie. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but porn has plot.
Yeah, porn does have a lot of plot. Plot. Look, porn has.
Some people, not naming names, watch it strictly for the plot.
So they say.
So they say. I wouldn't know who. Certainly not
It's
me.
like eating a meal out of the fridge. You know what I mean? You don't.
No, I don't know what you mean. Explain.
Like you can't just take that shit out of the fridge and eat it. Like you know what I mean? Like
That's
you gotta
not
heat
true.
it up. You gotta build up to it. You
This
gotta
is
find
terrible.
that.
This is a
you gotta-
horrible analogy.
you gotta
I eat
find-
cold pizza out the fridge all
You
the
gotta
time.
find a nice show to watch while you're eating this food. You know what I mean? You can't just whip it out and beat off. You know?
I hate you.
You gotta have build up.
I definitely eat meals out of the fridge.
Context. That's what I'm looking for. What are you doing?
Like my monitor is like off center and it's freaking me out.
Oh,
from
so
where
if
I'm
your
sitting.
monitor is off center, like you know, it's I gotta fix this right now. But if the mic is off center, oh, Creighton will just have to deal with it.
It was just. It's like I see you better now. It was like
Yeah,
fucking me up.
It's
in-
like you
in
opened
terms
a
of what
window.
was it. 5.4 out of 10 for all the family. Good enough for me. Oh shit. He says, you know, like it's common sense. Exactly. He always does that.
Me?
Yes, you fucking
What am I
turkey
saying
bastard.
you know about,
I don't even know, but you say it.
or you don't know?
Why is that a joke to you? That's so funny to you.
'Cause,
Look
like-
at you. Look at you.
'cause,
Look how happy, proud of
you
you are
like-
for saying.
'Cause you always
For
like
me saying you know in there and then saying I don't know.
Look-
The fact that one word in a 2-word thing is similar, you can make the
'Cause I
most
said-
great, amazing,
'cause-
bland pun, and you're so proud. I hate how proud. You're like,
Look,
you're
hear me
saying,
out.
oh
You
shit.
said that. You said I say you know all the time, but then I said you don't know.
Yeah, you're saying the thing I just talked
That
about.
was fun.
Look at I'm sure you did.
Woo! Am I not allowed to have fun
Me.
with myself, Charlie?
Anyone else
Can I
wonder
not
how
play
big
with
Jackie
myself?
Chan's schmeat is now? I wasn't. I am now because you said that.
Charlie, can I not play with myself live on stream?
I bet it's Tristan. What?
He's wondering.
I'm on the mission to find out. Oh my God, Nathan. What's Tristan? Yeah, wait. What's Tristan?
He's wondering how big it is.
Oh,
How big
Yeah.
Jackie Chan's slong is?
It's
Is it
important.
I sense the sexual. I sense the sexual between them. Otto, come on, bro. You gotta say like what you're
Between
saying.
who? Me and you?
Is it between us, or is it between someone else? I said I was wondering. I asked who else was wondering. Oh, eat some garlic. Stop right thinking of that. You guys just having an argument again for no reason.
Sexual frustration. Or sexual tension.
It's important.
He's right, though. It is important.
It's nothing gay about. It's nothing gay about it. He's my childhood hero. I want to know if he's packing or not. No, yeah, I'm with you. Like now that he's put it in my brain, I too just have to be verified.
So
knowing
would you want to
Jackie
know
Chan's got
if
a big
Big Bird
schlong.
is packing?
No. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I was just
You know he just
wondering.
died. The guy who played him.
What? How?
He was old.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, he had corona. You know?
No, it was before Corona. It was like in the last year sometimes.
Oh.
Sometime. Why did I get the role of vampire? Is it just because of the garlic dislike? Yes.
Yes.
It's literally all. Timmy Turner never wished for a bigger dick, so you know that boy packs me. God damn it. Why would you say that? That's a child.
Well, technically, if we're going by the Fairly Odd Parents movie, that's live action. Like he's Drake Bell, and he's like a full ass grown adult man in that movie. And Tootie is the hot sister from Victorious. So it all checks out. Are you okay?
I wish Reptar was real. You made me wish Reptar was real so I could ride
Reptar is a
off
Godzilla
cliff.
ripoff.
It's a parody, right?
Or-
Don't say ripoff.
Whatever.
They can't use.
Isaiah
They're not
agreed
gonna
with me.
buy the rights to Godzilla.
No, I know, but like, still, it's the same thing.
So
Wait, does that mean Tommy and the boys were all weebs? A little bit?
they're babies. Creighton, why does everything become this kind of argument?
Weeby babies, man.
Is anyone else weirdly attached to the castle and the fishbowl and Fairly Odd Parents?
Yes. Yes.
No one has the rights to Godzilla. He is a god. You're right, Jesse. You're right.
What about Mothra?
Why you
Yes.
speak?
Oh.
You don't even know who Mothra
A man.
is.
Yes, I do.
Who is it?
It's the fucking giant moth from Godzilla. What are you saying? I
Did
don't
you know
know.
that because Isaiah told you?
I know because I've seen Godzilla before.
Which one?
Like 5 or 6 of them over time. I mean, I'm
Which
not like a
ones?
fan, but I don't know.
Did you see
There's 1,000
Tokyo
of
SOS?
them. I don't know.
Did you watch the new Godzilla movie? You know, I know you haven't seen King
I-
of the Monsters.
I
'Cause,
did
like,
see King of the Monsters.
You did have? So
Yeah.
you know, you already know it's better than in-game.
It's not better than Game. Not to me. I just look. It's not my thing. It's some people's thing. Some people like fucking Jimmy Neutron more than they like Endgame. Like people have favorites. People can have different things that are good to them.
You remember like the spy arc from Jimmy Neutron? There's
Jimmy
a bunch
Neutron?
Of spy. Yeah, there's like a spy, and it was like the professor from that never finished anything's daughter.
I
She was the
don't.
bad spy, and then there was a good handsome spy.
I have no
that Jimmy
recollection.
had to help out. It was like a whole it was more than like a couple episodes, and like for a while there, that guy was like Jimmy Neutron's like arch enemy.
I'm having such a hard time remembering Jimmy Neutron plots. I remember the early episodes really well. I remember the one with the pants coming to life.
Yeah, that was a good
That one was good. I remember the one with the turtle that is like it's like the
Yeah,
Jaws
it's like
episode.
Jaws, yeah.
I remember when he is using the spoon to eat the food and send it into like a singularity so he doesn't have to eat it, and then like his singularity explodes because he put too much food in there. If I was reminded, I'd remember more. The Jimmy Neutron movie was lit. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Well, they had a bunch of like shorts and movies like that were canon, which I thought were pretty cool.
I definitely liked old like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network for the reason that they had like the little 2-minute episodic things in between episodes of shows, like instead of commercials sometimes,
Yeah.
which were pretty sick. You don't explode a singularity by adding mass. That makes no sense. Bro, I don't know
It's
what
a
the fuck
kid
it was.
show.
I'm sorry.
It's
Shut
a
the
kid
fuck
show.
up. Maybe it wasn't.
Tristan.
Singularities evaporate. They don't explode. Okay,
So what you're
bro.
saying is
I
he
don't
could have
know.
evaporated.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was a thing.
He's
it was
Jimmy
a box.
Neutron. He can do
Yes,
anything.
he's smarter than we are.
He's got a big brain.
Did you see his brain? Brain blast! That shit was so dumb to me. I hated that. Those were the things I hated in shows like that. Was like, that's a Raven. When like she looked at the screen and it was like that shit. I hated that shit.
I miss like if we ever get another Transformers movie, I really want it to have like a really long scene showing you how each part of the Transformer transforms into the robot, like from the vehicle to the robot. All the old Transformers shows used to have that. Like they'd be like transform and they'd go into this montage, like randomly of them like going from like vehicle mode to robot mode, like every little thing, and it matched up with the toys, which was awesome.
It's called Hawking Radiation. I can't watch cartoons unless they're 100% factual. That's why I love SpongeBob. God damn it.
But there's
friend
fire
Alberto-
underwater, Tristan.
My friend Creighton, please. There's no way you're arguing that right now. That's why he said it. You can't fall for that shit. It makes you look so dumb.
I had to say something. We were all thinking it. It's okay. I speak for the
That's
people.
why he
you don't
said what he
Trey.
said. You don't understand. Anyway, my friend Alberto said the greatest thing ever about SpongeBob. SpongeBob's like his favorite cartoon of all time.
What did
He said, the writing on SpongeBob's fucking brilliant. Patrick is an idiot, and he lives under a rock. You know how amazing and poetic that is? Like, it was one of those little things I never picked up on until he said the words out loud, you know, like why it is what it is. It's like, yeah, the idiot lives under a rock. Like, what are you, an idiot? You live under a rock or something? It's like, yeah, Patrick does. Like, he was really high, and he was just going on a rant about why SpongeBob was the greatest show ever. And he said that shit. And I could not. I was, like, having trouble breathing. I was laughing so hard. Because he said a bunch of other shit, too, that was hilarious. I figured you'd say something about the talking sponge and other aquatic creatures. No, that's all factual. I see why you like the show.
Sponges talk to everybody. They're friendly.
Yeah, just like
They're
crabs.
very absorbent.
Like crabs who have whale children. Crabs having whale
He
children.
adopted her, Charlie. It's different. Her mother died, Charlie. He adopted her. Because that's what a real crab does.
She's adopted, all right. I hate everything about you guys all coming in here
Look,
attacking me.
You're
for,
gonna play
for-
the
for
SpongeBob game.
jokes.
You gotta play by the SpongeBob rules, Charlie.
I don't want you to speak right now about this.
What about Bubble Buddy?
Bubble Buddy's a great
Bubble
episode.
Buddy can fucking talk.
Remember when doesn't Bubble Buddy come back?
Yeah,
like
but it's a
way
newer
later.
episode.
It's like years
I
later,
haven't
like
seen
a
it
decade
yet, but
later.
I will watch the episode.
SpongeBob is the last show on Nickelodeon that was like started in the 90s.
Still going.
Still going. Is it still going?
It's still
Did
going.
they finally finish? it?
No, it's
Really?
still going. They've
There's
just
no
come out
way.
with another movie this summer.
I saw.
But it's supposed to be really good. I heard it's going to be an improvement.
SpongeBob Square.
Apparently, it's going to be a prequel about how SpongeBob got his job at the Krusty Krab and met Patrick.
Wow, bro, that show is 21 years old.
But it's weird because they covered that already in the show itself. So, are you telling me the canonicity of SpongeBob is at stake here?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm being serious. SpongeBob.
265 episodes.
SpongeBob has had a pretty damn consistent timeline. And I'll
10
be damned if
primetime
this movie
Emmys.
breaks that.
10 primetime Emmy nominations.
The
Outstanding
midnight.
sexy.
Oh, the Ashling slasher.
No, that's not at all.
What's the? Oh, you're talking about when he gets stuck into the in the trench.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're
Well,
talking about.
they can't tell the bathrooms
The midnight
apart.
bus made me think of that though, because he's like at
Rock- they were-
midnight,
it was
it
rock
goes to the
bottom.
bus that hit him.
They were at rock bottom. Did you know SpongeBob was actually 42 years old? That's horrifying to know.
What happened?
That SpongeBob was 42 years old. The character.
Yeah, because they showed his license and day of birth at one point.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's on. It's not his license. It's like some other form of identification.
Bro, 265 episodes.
You know what that means? We gotta watch them all.
What's Clancy Brown been up to outside of
Who's
Clancy Brown's in Shawshank Redemption? He plays Hadley? That's Clancy Brown?
Where?
The guy who does Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Clancy Brown's also Lex Luthor in Justice League, and he does like a lot of voice acting on and on.
He plays Surtur in Thor Ragnarok.
He's also in The Flash.
He's Risotto Groupon in Rick and Morty. What? Dude, this is... He's Berg in The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Wait, Berg. Who's Berg?
I don't think that's like a physical character.
Oh well, fuck it.
That's cool.
34, not 42. It was his license. Ahoy, Clark Kent, me boy. Do we have the secret formula? Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. Dude, that's fucking awesome. I
He
forget.
actually does a really great Lex Luthor voice. Like it's fucking.
Well, he's a voice actor.
Yeah, I know, but it's like
It's crazy
it's
that
pretty
he's
great.
Captain Hadley to me.
Yeah.
Is Avatar an anime? It is not. Technically.
Yeah, technically. Is he the boulder?
I am the boulder.
No,
Maybe.
no. I don't think so. Yeah,
Hold on.
they did like a rock
Who
parody
plays
Avatar, but it's like
the
the
boulder?
boulder. instead.
And Avatar the Last Airbender. Let's see. His name is Mick Foley.
He didn't look like.
According to the Avatar
He
Project,
looks like The Rock
they tried to
a little
get... What? They tried to get Dwayne Johnson to do it.
Oh, they did.
To voice the boulder, but they weren't able to do so, so he was eventually voiced by pro wrestler Mick Foley, a good friend of The Rock.
Ah, Mick Foley. Isn't Mick Foley dead?
I guess we're about to find out.
I think Mick Foley died.
Nope, he's 54.
Oh, he was Mankind. I knew that name from somewhere. So the Undertaker back in like the early '90s or the '80s, like threw Nick Foley off like onto a cage on top of a Hell in a Cell cage, and the cage broke through by accident, and he fell like 20 feet down like onto like solid concrete floor, and it fucked him up forever.
I mean, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Falling 20 feet into concrete will fuck you up a little bit. I feel
Yeah,
like.
with a stage with a piece of a cage in between you and the floor. Yeah, but it was a
No,
total
the piece
like
of the cage probably helped him.
yeah,
If
maybe.
anything, it
I
probably
don't know.
definitely helped.
But like
soften the blow.
since then, he's walked like with a limp and all kinds of shit. Like in like, but yeah, he like the Undertaker really fucked him up there. But like it was a total accident because like the cage just gave away without like any warning at all in that one section of it where he threw him in. It was wild. And that's why he doesn't wrestle that much anymore.
Maybe it's because it's 54.
Well, I mean, that's why he didn't wrestle that much anymore after that either.
Yeah, I get wrestling and I get how it can be entertaining, and I don't dishearten or no, I don't like dis it, but I just can't watch it. I hate it.
Why?
It's so boring to me knowing
Really?
that it's fake. Like knowing that it's written, not that it's fake, but that it's written.
I
Like,
think
that it's not
so,
like that's why I like MMA so
I
much.
used
Is
to
like
be
whoever's
like you.
better is gonna win.
I used to be like you, thinking that it's boring that it's written, but like watching like some of the stunts and stuff that they perform, it really is like still like a very much like they're putting themselves in
Oh, yeah.
physical.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's for
danger.
sure. Yeah,
And I think that
I'm not
part of
discounting
it-
that. It's just that it's an act. I mean, stunt performers put themselves in danger.
That's true.
And make Mission Impossible. You know,
But I think
not Tom Cruise's stunt performer, but everyone else.
But I think it's crazy like that they go to such lengths and get paid so little for like everything that they do.
WWE people.
Yeah, because like, have you ever looked into? We've talked about it a little bit on here before, but like, none of them like, they're under technically speaking, even though they're signed to the WWE, they're under they're like all like contract workers in the eyes of the government. So he doesn't have to. Vince McMahon doesn't have to pay them like an annual salary. He just determines like a hourly rate or something like that. It's like very like fucked up, and they make like so little money like compared to what they should be making for like the amount of like shit that they have to put their bodies through.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see like a lot of wrestlers.
I bet a lot of them would rather do that still than their normal job, though.
That's true, but I mean like
you're
if
still,
you're
they're still
barely
definitely
making
making
money-
enough to work, though. It's enough to not want to work at McDonald's. They're
Yeah.
probably living a pretty baller life. You know, people are probably buying them drinks and putting them up in hotels and shit. The big ones, the WWE people.
But I mean, that's the thing. You have to be like a big one. You know what I mean? If
You have to
you're
be a
gonna-
big anything to make a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
College
that's true.
athletes don't make shit. You know, you have to become a pro athlete to make any money.
I mean, yeah, that's true. It's just like it was really fucked up because like they were working at one point in such poor wrestling conditions that like a couple wrestlers actually died,
Yeah.
and like they couldn't really take Vince McMahon to court because they were workers under contract, so legally he wasn't responsible for
Well,
that.
that's how he got out of it getting taxed.
Yeah.
Was in the beginning he wouldn't admit that it was written or scripted.
Mhm.
Like in the beginning he like everyone kind of there was like this hidden agreement like we want the audience to think this is real, right?
Mhm.
And then when the tax people started coming at him trying to get money after he started making so much, he made like the biggest judgment call he'd ever make in his career, which was to say, "You guys don't know this is all scripted," and act like we were supposed to know the whole time, and everyone went with it. Something that under a different circumstance or a different thing, if you say it at the wrong time, people would be enraged. People were like, "Yeah, we want it to stay," and it was like a "fuck you" to the tax man. It's
Yeah.
all that shit, and then it stuck around.
It's crazy too because like the way he started out, because like there was all these mini wrestling leagues out there, and there still are like a couple out there. We have one locally, but like they're like what he started doing is like rounding up these wrestling leagues and buying them out and monopolizing it and everything. And he like grew the WWE into like this huge thing like practically overnight. You know what I mean? And like ran everything else out of business. The only other thing that's left that kind of competes with WWE is like I think it's WCW or something like that. And like even then like they barely like matter in the grand scheme of things. In that same match, Undertaker threw Mankind off Hell in a Cell and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table. Yeah. It was
Anyone
a
else
rough
still
match.
vividly remember Anderson Silva's leg turning to sand when he kicked that dude? Or you're not? What's that from? Heartbreaking. Damn. You guys all talking about your fucking wrestling shit. I don't got a clue what we're talking about.
My entrance to wrestling was like CM Punk talking about like him being like WWE Championship for like 414 days or some shit like that, and The Rock immediately showing up and kicking his ass and taking the championship from him, just to be like, "Fuck you," and then CM Punk like, so. His act was that he got mad and quit the WWE, but what it really was is like he quit doing WWE to go do MMA for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think he came back, but I'm not completely sure. But he was pretty cool. I liked him. He kind of reminded me.
Punk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he's like the laughing stock of MMA.
But like his persona in the WWE was pretty funny.
I'm sure
I
it
mean,
was.
not
yeah,
funny,
that's
but
how
like pretty fun.
That's how a lot of those guys. That's like what they sell. They're selling their character, not like their like fighting abilities.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because it in the end it is still a lot of like just friendships up on that stage, like not a real like actual trying to hurt each other. Like MMA, you're trying to fucking kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Like when if the ref doesn't say it's a knockout, you have to keep going. And these guys will knock someone out and punch him in the face a few times before the ref can get to him sometimes, which is horrifying. Like, to me, I'm like, fuck that, bro. I know who Anderson Silva is. I didn't know if the sand thing, I've never seen that. So I figured that maybe he went over to WWE and did something, is what I was talking
I
about.
will fight both of you at the same time. But will you do it for the title match?
Jesse, I don't want to fight you, bro. You just explode.
Will you do it for the title? Will you do it for
You're
the
filled
belt?
with alcohol, bro. You're pickled. It would be like ripping open a deviled egg. Like you just like tear from the seams once I like poked a certain part of you too hard.
I want you to do it for the championship belt, Jesse. And
What
the,
about
and
that
the
bullshit
briefcase.
call with Mayweather and McGregor? What do you mean bullshit call?
It was bullshit.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
He was
it
gone. Connor says afterwards. He says no. The ref made the right decision. I was out. It was a stand-up knockout. He was
No.
destroyed. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No,
McGregor will
they
say
went
it.
on stage and they hyped it up so that they could all make a lot more money.
He lasted way longer than anyone thought he would, and he had a good. The first 3 rounds, like out of the first 4, I think he won 2 or 3 of them, which no one thought he was gonna win a round. Like, Conor McGregor went in there and showed the boxing world, hey, MMA's are fucking elite athletes, and I mean he fought the best of all time. He lost, but everyone knew that was gonna happen. But he showed up. He didn't just go in there and get shit on. He went in there and like he came to the party. Like he wasn't just sitting there and not doing nothing. I mean,
They just dragged it out.
I don't think he dragged it out. I think he was trying to win. He really wanted to win. Mayweather would have killed him. Yes, facts. Charlie Anderson Silva was in a match and threw a kick on some dude's leg, and his shin basically turned to sand and bent around his opponent's leg. Oh, damn. Dark and Light, The Devil and God, Charlie and Great. Seriously, look it up real quick. It's so brutal.
Let's see it.
I'll watch it, but I'm not going to play the sound because MMA is weird about shit on YouTube.
Are you taking? I want to see
Anderson
it.
Silva breaks leg. Okay. This is going to suck, isn't it? I'll watch it over here while we do this until
What year is this?
this was uploaded in 2013. Hold on, when's he on the ground? Oh, okay, here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, it was too zoomed in. You can barely see it. Man, Anderson Silva came back from this.
Golly.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Hold it there for a second. I don't see it.
Come on. Oh, look at
Damn.
that.
So what happened? I could like barely tell.
So he kicked him. I guess he kicked him in the wrong part of his with the wrong part of his leg, and it broke. So like imagine this is the leg he's kicking. He goes to kick it, and the leg wrapped around the other guy's leg and broke. Yeah, it's rough. And Anderson Silva's a legend. He's one of the best ever. Don't think he was ever the same after that? Yeah, nah. I mean, bro, that fight with Israel, though, with Adesanya, that fight was amazing. Like, that was like a real, like, one of the best ever showing the young gun, like, hey, I'm still here moments. Pound for pound, best of all time, because I would destroy Mayweather. All my money on you, Jesse. All my money on you being the cutest man on earth, Nathan. Oh, shit.
So punch that elderly man for not
If
drinking.
you're the real Charlie boy, who's the fake one, and what should we do about this fucking poser? His name is Charles Estes. He won't get on Twitter and let me have my account. McGregor is a piece of shit. Threw a punch at an elderly man for not drinking his. For not. That's not why he did that. Have you ever heard the audio from it? He didn't want to drink the whiskey, sure, but he said something along the lines of, "I'm not gonna drink your whiskey. Not after that Russian showed you what for," or something like that. Like talking about when Khabib fucked him up. Because Khabib Nurmagomedov beat Conor McGregor, and it was like one of the biggest matches in UFC history, one of the biggest rivalries, and it was crazy. Look, Conor McGregor's he's a lot of things, and he's very charismatic. He's got a lot of money, bro. You can't talk shit to a UFC fighter that is known for having temper tantrums, and expect him to maintain composure. The McGregor fight put Mayweather at 50-0. It's 51-0 if you include his wife. Damn.
Oh.
Shit. Well, 52-0
Oh.
or 53. He's done like 2 fights since then now
Damn.
in Japan. He got really cocky and started showboating, and then he kicked his leg into sand. Damn. I think Silva's still still one of the greatest of all time.
Does he still fight?
Yeah, he's fought twice in the last year, I think. Still a UFC fighter punching an elderly man. I mean, so the guy shouldn't talk shit, bro. If you're an old man, it doesn't mean you're justifiably allowed to talk shit to whoever you want.
I feel like
You shouldn't be a piece of shit. He is. It's factual. What? What do you feel like?
I don't know. Like, it's so, like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, I don't think punching him in the face was the appropriate response.
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. And none of us were there, and we weren't in the room. And
That's
Conor
true.
was being nice to the guy at first. Like, he was being all generous and being nice, and he was offering to buy the whole bar drinks, and the guy was, like, just talking shit to him. It wasn't like Conor was like, come on, man, drink this, whatever. Like, the guy was
So you're
just
saying,
talking
like,
shit.
this guy was trying to, like, bait him, maybe, or something?
I don't know. He was being an asshole. Both people were assholes in the end. But, I mean, it wasn't, like, one-sided by any means, you know? Like, imagine you're just hanging out at a bar, and some old guy just says, like, leave. Like, just keeps telling you. Imagine you just being horrible for no reason.
I
Like,
can't
it's like, get out. We don't like you. Leave. You dumb
I work
idiot.
in a
piece of
grocery
shit,
store.
for no
I
reason.
have old people be mean to me for no reason every day, Charlie.
It's
Like,
different.
It's nothing I'm not used to.
I understand, but that's different. You work there. You're not allowed. You really aren't allowed to do it then. But you're talking about somebody.
Imagine if I was, though. Like, they're like, bag my shit. And I'm like, fuck you. And
Bah,
just,
just
like,
fucking
like,
put some padlocks in
them.
a sock and beat the
Yeah.
fuck out of him like it's prison. Chuck Norris, though, he isn't a piece of shit. He has the heart of a child. He keeps it in a jar by his bed. God damn it. Yeah, he just said, fuck your whiskey. It's something he's been working on for a long time. That's true. That's true. Oh, that's true as well. Old people are the rudest people on earth.
Not all the time.
Not
It
all
just
of
depends on the. It's like anything else. It depends on the person.
Imagine being one of the world's greatest fighters with serious punching power and you lose your temper over a heckler. Imagine being that shallow. Listen, bro, you can't imagine it. I mean, you can try and imagine all you want, but you're never
Wait,
gonna
you said
know.
this video's out there?
There's video.
Imagine somebody like edited the One Punch Man theme song
God
over
damn it.
this.
I mean, he didn't knock the guy out or anything. He punched him. He punched him like from the back of the side of the head, and the guy was just like, "Man, fuck you!" Like it's not like he.
No, I know, but
it's
still.
not like he beat him to death or anything. He hit him one time. In my experience, they are the worst. Yeah, his whiskey is shit though. I've heard that it's definitely an Irish thing. It's definitely like an Irishy whiskey.
What?
The whiskey that Conor
What's
McGregor.
the
he has.
Irishy whiskey? Was that
Like,
he?
like I don't know. I mean, it's like a very for
What, it's
him
like
and
a-
his like
Oh.
his home
Him and his homeland.
homeland.
Oh, he's Irish?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that explains a lot.
People talk shit to retail workers every day, and most of us don't lose our tempers. How is this
That's
any
fair.
different?
That's fair.
Well,
That's a
you're
good
talking
point.
about a guy who just offered everyone in the bar a lot, like something to drink. Who he was literally being nice to the guy, trying to be nice to
No,
him.
but like you can be in that situation in retail too, because like you can be like, I'm gonna
Creighton,
give you your
listen,
things for free.
you can't say you
Like,
can be in that situation.
you
You're
can
talking about a
be.
man worth hundreds
You
of millions
can.
of dollars.
I'm
who
a
is
man
getting
worth
his-
hundreds of millions
who's
of
getting
dollars.
verbally
if I'm giving you your
assaulted.
food.
He's getting verbally assaulted in his own bar by somebody.
Oh, is his bar?
I believe it was his
Wow,
bar.
that's crazy. It's almost like I never get insulted in the business I work at.
Not where you work at, where you own. You own. He's on top of the world, and he had just the only big thing in his life that he just
If I
kind of
owned
been
Food
shit
Lion, I'd
on
probably be decking
was he got
people
beat
out,
by
too.
Khabib after a year being out of the UFC.
I feel like I'd be laying people out too if I owned Food Lion. I definitely would put like a limit on fucking lottery tickets that you can buy.
Oh, Jesus. McGregor needs to learn how to use his words. I mean, Charlie's biased. I'm not biased. I'm saying you gotta look at it from a different
You are
perspective.
kind of biased a little bit, I feel like. Because you're really like into MMA. And you're like all the way up MMA's ass. So you're not looking at
I'm not at all. I watch a fight a month, maybe.
It's still more than like your average person.
I don't know. I mean, there's a big fight every Saturday, and then there's other fights throughout the week, all week long, on all these other websites and all these other channels, or at least there was before coronavirus. I watch the big fights. I only watch like the giant headliner fights. I'm not like
It's
an
still
MMA
like,
dork or anything.
it's still like watching more than most people here. In
I'm just
chat.
saying, I've listened to a lot of interviews with a lot of the people from that situation who are saying that Conor was not nearly as in the wrong as people and headlines were making him out in the beginning, because that old guy was being a fucking bitch.
That's true.
Like, a lot of the people in this scenario, it's one of those
Well,
things
no.
where the news headlines wanted to make Conor an asshole. Hey, look, MMA guy beats up old man.
I don't
like,
think,
that sounds like an asshole, right?
I don't
like,
think they're trying to be like. I don't think people are trying to say like that
That's
he
exactly
was an
what they-
asshole by himself. I'm talking about like people in our chat right now.
Oh.
I don't think they're trying to say like he was an asshole on his own. I think in the situation they were both assholes and they both could have handled it better.
Nathan, shut the fuck up.
But I don't think that like even though the guy was being an asshole, that justifies him punching him in the side of the head.
Well, yeah, I mean, what justifies saying something mean to a person? Nothing, really. Like, there's no
It's not the
justification if you want to. If you want
same.
to, I
It's
know
not
it's
the
not the
same,
same.
though.
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing my perspective of what I'm
Okay.
talking about. I'm saying if there's no justification, like none at all, then nothing has justification. There's some justification. If you don't want someone to shit talk you, what do? Say, hey, can you please not shit talk me?
Or you can
And they
just
keep
kick
doing
him
it.
out
What
of
do
the
you
bar.
say?
It's his bar. Why didn't you just kick him out?
Because that's not how people do it. You're talking about a person from a different country in a different world. I listen to so many people who are like, we need to be able to whoop people's asses more than we're allowed to now. Like, we've gotten so soft as a culture where if somebody's being an idiot or a dumbass, you used to just get the shit kicked out of you, and then you're like, oh, I was doing some dumb shit, and then you become friends with the guys that beat the fuck out of you, and that's how, like, homies, like that's how
But that's
companionship's
not how
form.
it works.
That's
though,
not how it
here.
works right now, sure, in this moment.
Yeah.
But you got to realize you're talking about people from a different country, in a different place,
And I accept.
dealing with old people who are part of that. What's the
it,
word?
Where's his bar? Is it here or is it?
I think it was in Ireland, but I don't know where it was. I think this was in Ireland because the old man was
well,
also
that makes
Irish.
it a little different, but not like I don't know.
Excuse me. So kick the old guy out. It's his bar. Yes, sure. Look, we're all talking about this like it's a politically correct society in every part of the world. But I'm saying
it's a
is that
politically correct thing. It's just more like why punch him? Like why waste the effort? You know what I mean? Like when you just basically pick the guy up and throw him
because
outside the
he's
bar.
a guy. He's a man who's drunk, and
Oh,
the
he
guy's
was
making
drunk?
fun of. Yeah, he
Oh,
was
that's
buying
all
drinks.
you had to say.
He was
Like,
buying
that
drinks
just-
for
yeah, that's all you
everybody.
had to say.
I assumed it was evident. I said he was buying drinks for everybody at his bar.
I don't
with
know
his
why
new
I was
whiskey.
imagining him like perfectly sober when you said that, but yeah, okay, yeah. Now it
That's
all.
how he deals with his emotions, man. It's wrong, possibly, but he fights for a living. That's what he knows. That's true. If I was Conor, I wouldn't give a fuck. It was in Ireland. Yeah, okay, it was in Ireland. Yeah, look, dude. Again, this is all a perspective thing. Like, we can sit here in our computer chairs on our podcast from our little small town where people don't fight that much around
We should
us,
fight
or
more.
we don't get in fights.
I would
But
love
you're
to be
talking
in a
about a
bar fight.
professional MMA fighter on his turf, like buying drinks for people, and the guy comes in there and disrespects him. And it's not like the guy was 80; he was like 60 or something. He was like he could probably handle himself
Wait,
if he
so
wanted.
was he drunk or was he just buying drinks?
Conor, he was drunk. He was
Okay.
like, I'm pretty sure he was like very
Wait,
like.
did you ever confirm that though?
No, I wasn't there. I didn't put a breathalyzer.
I'm talking about.
I'm
like,
not filing
you
a
said
police
you
report.
watched like interviews and stuff, right?
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
did they
I don't
confirm
know
that
if-
he's drunk. That he was drunk when it happened.
I can confirm it as much as I can confirm that you worked today. Like I don't know. I wasn't there. I was told. Like it's what I was.
But, so somebody told you that he was drunk.
I don't know. It
Well, that's
seems
why I'm
pretty-
asking because
I
like
don't
Tristan
know.
brings up a good point. Like just
That
saying
doesn't
that he
mean
was
he's
buying
drunk
drinks.
because he's buying drinks.
Yeah.
Bro, he was very wobbly. He was very like flowy, like a
In the
drunk guy
video?
is. Yeah, in the video.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
mean,
then, yeah.
I can make
Then
some assumptions. Even if he's not drunk, fuck it.
That's just
If
poor-
he's sober, I mean, look, bro, it's a different situation. You can judge whoever you want, all you want. All I'm saying is it's a perspective thing. You're talking about getting shit talked in your own place while you're trying to be nice to a guy. Like, he punched a guy. It's not the end of the world. People think he's a piece of shit. That
I don't
one
think
moment
he's a
shouldn't.
piece of shit.
No,
because
this is
of
where
it.
this
Oh,
stemmed
you're
from. Is
talking
people
about-
calling him a
yeah,
piece of
yeah.
shit because of that.
Yeah.
I don't like when people call people a piece of shit off of one thing they didn't disagree with them on. You know, like that's so. I hate that. I hate when people say shit like that.
I agree. I get that.
That's why I get defensive over people calling a person
Garbage.
like a garbage person over one instance of something.
Yeah.
Like, sure, he's done some bad shit, but you're talking about a man who's like fucking. When all this started, he's in his 20s, making millions and millions of dollars fighting. It's not Justin Bieber. You're not talking about Justin Bieber who sings songs and makes $250 million. You're talking about a guy who beats the fuck out of people well and makes a lot of money for it and then showboats, and showboating is what makes him his real money with Mayweather. Like, he wouldn't have got that Mayweather fight if he wasn't Conor McGregor. It wasn't that he was like 50-0 or some shit. Like, Conor's lost like 5 or 6 fights. Like, he's lost a decent amount of fights. Like, he's not the best MMA fighter of all time, or by any means at all. He's just a good fighter who showboats like a crazy man because he realized that's how the game is played. Like, I mean, you're talking about a very good businessman. I mean, the guy's...
I still think he should go a couple rounds in the ring with the old man that was talking shit.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
That'd be
I
hilarious.
think the old man should suit up and get his shit kicked in and figure out why you're not supposed to talk shit to guys like that. I think instead of punching old fucks, we should angry comb their hair. Hey, bartender, give me a fucking insure for the dinosaur over here. What? What?
Insure's the drink.
Like Russell Crowe. Oh, okay. Russell Crowe throwing a phone at someone? What do you mean? It just makes Connor look petty. So?
Like Russell
Who
Crowe.
cares? When you're worth $150 million, I don't think you care if anyone thinks you're petty looking. He doesn't want people to disrespect him. Like, well, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want people disrespecting me after all the work I've done, after all the money I've made, after all the things I'm offering you in that moment. Like, imagine how fucking fumed he was. Yeah, imagine how mad he is in that moment.
What if I disrespect
Oh my,
you?
Mike Tyson.
What if I disrespect you with bad jokes?
That's just you being an idiot. I've come to deal with that.
Oh, okay.
Mike Tyson has done worse, but I still love him. Yeah, exactly. If we're going to sit here and talk shit about someone who, if we're talking about things you've done making you awful, Mike Tyson should be O.J. Simpson. Like, he is awful. He's done some crazy shit, bro. Like,
He's a tiger.
Huh?
He's a tiger.
Had a tiger.
Oh, he doesn't have it anymore?
No, they got old.
Oh.
That was years ago. That was in the fucking 80s or 90s.
Well, they had it in The Hangover. He had it.
No, that wasn't his tiger anymore. That was a movie tiger.
Oh.
You don't get to bring your pets onto the sets. They have their own people. They have contracted businesses for
Like
that.
like Doc Antle.
Like what?
He provides a bunch of tigers for movies and stuff all the time.
Who does?
The guy from Tiger King.
Oh,
Doc
he
Antle.
did?
The guy that did Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
But
When he
Did you
threw
wanna
the
go-
dolly through the bus and almost ruined one fighter's eye who wasn't even involved. Yeah, that was worse to me than him punching the old man. I just want to clarify, I don't hate Conor McGregor. I just think he's an asshole. I could have dealt with that better. Sure, anything could have been dealt better in retrospect. Talk about Bill Cosby and abortion, get controversial. I'm not going to talk about abortion, but damn, I didn't see the Bill Cosby thing come up. Bro, I've talked about it before. I think everyone has at this point in the world, but that was nuts.
we can save it for tomorrow.
Could you think 10 years, real quick, yeah, that's true, but hold on, real fast, we'll end on this. Imagine if someone 10 years ago said, hey, you know what? Bill Cosby raped a bunch of people. Like a bunch. Not like 10 or 20, like 90.
40.
Like
or is
90.
it 90? Shit,
90.
damn.
Raped like 90 people, and guess what? You're the first one to know. Imagine, well, first one outside of the 90 women, but you know what I'm saying. Imagine like 10 years ago knowing that shit and having gone this whole time. And apparently a lot of people in show business knew for a long time. Or like they knew something. Like a lot of them, they were like, yeah, we knew. Like we had an idea, but like, what are you supposed to do? You know, when your career is nothing yet, you're supposed to say, hey, I think Bill Cosby raped a bunch of people and not know for sure. Like, I always thought that argument, I always hate the argument like you should have said something. It's like, who the fuck were we to say anything? You know, the people talking, right?
Yeah.
Not me, but like a lot of comedians had a pretty good idea that it was going on. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Like a lot of people knew, and a lot of people were like okay with it. Like a lot of people did the things he was doing. Like a lot of actresses, and were like okay with it to get their careers going.
I think that people that were okay with it should have said something. The people that didn't know for sure, like.
Yeah, the people that it happened to should have said something
Yeah.
earlier.
But I mean, I get why they didn't, though. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't want to like, you know, you don't want to like victim blame with
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I love the Bill Cosby prison memes. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. The memes out of it are pretty amazing. Like the one where he like does like that, where like he looks to the left or something when he's blind, like at the press, like leaving the courthouse or something. That shit was nuts. But it is. We are at 2:10 now, so we'll wrap it up. I will find somebody really quickly to raid. And so, are we doing? Do you think we?
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
try
down-
and do one tomorrow. I'm not
I'm
definitive
down to
on
do
whether
one
we're
tomorrow.
doing one
You're
or
the one
not.
that's like flaky about.
Well, I can't remember if I have something to do tomorrow or not. Because my days are all fucking mixed up now. And, like
tomorrow's Friday.
between you and between like Mike and like my dad, like people saying, hey, we're doing this that day and this that day. Like I just don't remember anymore. So as long as nobody's called me tomorrow, and told like said I need to do anything, I'll tell you to come by. We're going to raid my friend Panda Party. She was on Twitch many years ago and was a big part of our community. Okay, no, she's not. Okay. And she has just started back on streaming, so we're going to rate her. Panda Party, 999. Boom. Bill Cosby looks like an old dog who's on its last leg. Yeah, his last leg is his dick. Damn. The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. God damn it. I hate you, Nick. You guys have a great night, and we'll maybe see you tomorrow. Jesus. Goodbye, everybody.